We are back, and back in a big way. After an extended absence and a holiday break, we turn the calendar to 2026 as Gladiators hockey is back with the latest installment of the I-85 Rivalry as the Atlanta Gladiators head up I-85 to Bon Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Good evening, everyone. Guy Chiarenza here from the upstate here in South Carolina for what is going to be a fantastic matchup here today between Atlanta and Greenville. Seventh meeting of the season between these two clubs. Every single one of the prior six has been decided by 2 or less goals. We're in store for a good one here tonight. Gladiators looking a little bit different than what we saw them last time around, and a lot has happened since the last time the Gladiators hit the ice. And so we'll go through it all here with you today on the Gladiators pregame show right here from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Hope everybody had a happy holidays, and they're starting off the new year on the right foot. No better way to do it than with Gladiators hockey, and thankfully we have Gladiators hockey here today, as most of you know that over the holiday break there was a bit of a disagreement between the ECHL and the PHPA negotiating a new CBA, but they hammered that out. That new CBA was signed and ratified earlier in the week, and so we are good to go and back for action for Game 26 for the Gladiators here this season. Atlanta enters the matchup with a record of 19-6, 38 points on the season, has them sitting in second place in the South Division. If you can think all the way back to their last game on December 21st at Gas South Arena, right against these Greenville Swamp Rabbits, they have won their last 3 games. As for Greenville, they are 11-11-4 at this point in the season, and at this juncture, 26 points on the year, 5th place in the South Division, losers of their last 3, and it really feels like Greenville needs to get a grip on their season right now, as it's about a 4-team race for that 4th seed in the South Division. Greenville, again, losers in their last 3, lost in this building 5-3 on New Year's Eve against the South Carolina Stingrays, but they are getting a lot of help back into the lineup as they have 3 guys returning from assignment from Ontario back in the lineup here today as they look to finally get the better of the Gladiators, who have won the last 5 meetings between these two clubs. 7th out of 14 meetings this season between these two clubs. Atlanta is 5-1 against Greenville this season, and as I mentioned before, the Gladiators have won the last 5 matchups. Greenville won the first one on November 5th on the school day game, 3-1, and then the last 5 have gone to the Gladiators, including 3 overtime wins for Atlanta, and most recently on the 21st of December at Gas South Arena, a 3-1 victory for the Glads. And so, for those of you who can't remember back to 12 days before, it's been a while. It's been a lot, and there's a lot has happened since then. So think all the way back, take a trip down memory lane. Gladiators did win that game, 3-1, and everything was looking great. Honestly, one of the Gladiators' best games and best performances of the season. Just a complete team victory. Louis Boudon had 3 goals, his second ECHL hat trick on the books. Cody Sylvester, 2 assists. Chad Nychuk, 2 assists as well. 5 assists in his last 3 entering the day for a nice point streak. And TJ Septemfelter almost got the shutout, 22 out of 23, his stat line. And unfortunately, with 4 seconds left in that game, it was Josh Atkinson spoiling the shutout for Septemfelter, scoring on the power play. And so the Gladiators' PK got burst in that game as well. But all in all, great game for the Gladiators. Complete team win to pick up win number 19 of the campaign. Gladiators' penalty kill went 1 for 2, and on the power play they went 2 for 7, tying a season high when it comes to power play goals scored in the game this season and opportunities with 7 this season. And for those of you who can think all the way back as well, and at the end of that game, Ryan Conroy fought Tim Lovell in the final 5 minutes. Can't do that, so Conroy has been suspended for 1 game, and so he did not make the trip here to the upstate. We will likely see him again tomorrow night when the Gladiators take on the Greensboro Gargoyles at Gas South Arena. So, as I mentioned before, it's been a busy week in our neck of the woods. Take you right through it. So, you go all the way back to right before Christmas Eve. Louis Boudon named to Team France. He is off to Milan, going to play in the Winter Olympics, and everything's looking great for the Gladiators, and all of a sudden, you get the players' strike on the 26th. So, PHPA says we're not playing until we get a new deal with the new CBA. They butt heads with the ECHL, league holding firm, PHPA holding firm, and you get the first work stoppage in the 38-year history of the ECHL. And so both sides trying to come to an agreement. Out of all that, Louis Boudon ends up signing with a team in Finland, and away he goes. So he is no longer Atlanta Gladiator. We wish him the best in his ventures, but he has gone across the pond to continue his professional career. But for the Gladiators, it does get better. You move to Monday, and the Gladiators make a trade. They acquire forward Jack O'Brien and defenseman Nolan Orzek from the Iowa Heartlanders in exchange for two defensemen in Jack Robolati and Anthony Furiolo. And O'Brien, wearing number 19, and Orzek, wearing number 9, will both make their Gladiators debuts here today against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And for those guys, they're going to need to make an immediate impact for the Gladiators here today with the loss of Louis Boudon and the news coming out on Wednesday that Isaac Walter is on loan in Milwaukee. The Gladiators need those guys to really step up in a big way here tonight, as a lot of the Gladiators scoring this season had gone through Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter. So here today we will see O'Brien on a line with Carson Denemy and Joey Cipollone, and we will see Orzek on a D pairing with Brendan Less. So those new guys enter the lineup, and for O'Brien this season, great year so far with Iowa. Second year in the league, 25 games this season, 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points on the campaign for O'Brien. And with the loss of Boudon and the loss of Walter, he does become your de facto leading goal scorer. Chad Nychuk with the 2 assists in the last game against Greenville on the 21st. He is the team leader in points with 23 and assists with 20. As for Orzek, he's a good addition to the back end. He is going to be a right shot defenseman for Atlanta that'll slide into the lineup here today in the second D pairing. And Orzek this season has 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points in 25 games. And he'll be wearing number 9 here today. And he's actually a former teammate of Carson Denemy when Denemy was in Iowa, and Andrew Jarvis when both were the Allen Americans earlier in their career. So Orzek in year number 4 in the ECHL will play in game number 1 with Atlanta here tonight. As for Isaac Walter, got loaned to Milwaukee on Wednesday, and today he was named the ECHL's Rookie of the Month for the month of December. And Walter absolutely became a scoring machine in the month of December. In 9 games, had 8 goals and 5 assists, torched the Utah Grizzlies. He is the ECHL's Howie's Hockey Tape Rookie of the Month for the month of December. So congratulations to Isaac, and really well-deserved for the call-up to Milwaukee. Wishing him the best, and hopefully, for our sake, we see him here sometime soon, as he has been electric to watch so far this season. But wishing the best in Milwaukee. Again, it's a next man up mentality for the Gladiators entering here tonight. And we'll talk about that on the other side of the break when we get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda with our head coach Matt Ginn. And we will get to the starting lineups here tonight in Greenville. All that on the other side of the break. Atlanta meets Greenville for the 7th time this season and the second game of the year here at Bon Secours Wellness Arena, and the first game of 2026. We're back after this. Welcome back to Greenville as we are getting set for the 7th edition of the I-85 Rivalry this season. Guy Chiarenza with you here from Bon Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who are coming off of their latest defeat, their 3rd in a row, 5-3 at the hands of the South Carolina Stingrays here on New Year's Eve. It was a good night to be Cam Hausinger and a good night to be Ryan O'Hara, as both guys had a goal and 2 assists in that loss to South Carolina. Ryan O'Reilly also had a goal for the Swamp Rabbits. Pierce Charleston stopped 18 of 23 in that game as Greenville went 0 for 2 on the power play and 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. But for Greenville, things are looking up for them as they do get some much-needed help from their AHL affiliate, the Ontario Reign, as returning to the lineup for the Swamp Rabbits here today. Matthias Scholl between the pipes. Parker Berg on the back end. and the maestro, Keaton Mastrodonato, back in the lineup here today. So Greenville getting some much-needed help from their AHL affiliate. They are back to just about full strength, and for the Gladiators, it is going to have to be a next man up mentality here tonight, as Atlanta is without Louis Boudon for the rest of the year and Isaac Walter for the foreseeable future, as Walter is up in Milwaukee with the Admirals on loan. With that, let's get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. Key number one is to play fast and play direct. And if you watch a lot of Gladiators games and broadcasts this season, you'll know that that one has been a recurring key and a recurring theme so far this season. But that is the nitty-gritty of the Gladiators game, is to play fast, play direct. And the second key as well, win the hard areas. And for Atlanta here, when you have to get back to the basics, with a couple of new faces in the lineup and some line shuffling due to the fact that you're without two players that you had before the break, you just have to get back to the basics in your game. So those two keys are just it. And of course, number three, manage the puck. That one for the Gladiators has been a big key to the season as well, as Atlanta this season has been good at keeping the puck out of their opponent's hands. But when you think about Greenville, you have to remember that this is a speedy Swamp Rabbits team that if you give them any opportunity to take the puck and run with it, they will do just that, especially with a guy like Mastrodonato back in the lineup. You have to make sure that that does not happen. And so for three keys to the game for the Gladiators: play fast, play direct, win the hard areas, and manage the puck. All those from head coach Matt Ginn, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. Go check them out, up and coming. With that, let's get to the starting lineups here tonight in Greenville. We will start with the Atlanta Gladiators, as I've yet to see the Swamp Rabbits send in their lineup yet, but I do have the Gladiators, so we'll start with the away squad. Getting the start at left wing is number 18, Carson Denemy, standing at 6'1", 194, the native of Regina, Saskatchewan. 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points in 25 games entering tonight. It feels like it's going to have to be a big weekend for number 18, as with the loss of Boudon and the loss of Walter, his new center here tonight is number 19, Jack O'Brien. And for Denemy, he's going to have to step up. Going to need some more out of him. See if we get it here tonight in Greenville. Speaking of Jack O'Brien making his Gladiators debut here tonight, he gets the start right down the middle, standing at 6'1", 184, the native of Denver, Colorado, has 25 games on the books this season with the Iowa Heartlanders. Tonight, game number 1 with the Gladiators in 25 games with Iowa, at 11 goals and 11 assists for 22 points on the campaign. His starting right wing here tonight is number 71, Joey Cipollone, standing at 5'11", 192 pounds, native of Purchase, New York, has 6 goals and 4 assists for 10 points in 25 games this season. That is your starting forward line here tonight in Greenville. And we talk about guys stepping up and guys needing to make an immediate impact. Guys that need to step up: Denemy, Cipollone, and really you can point a finger at every guy in the lineup. It's going to be a next man up mentality for the entire team here today, as the Gladiators are dressing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Getting the start on the blue line for Atlanta, number 6, Andrew Jarvis, standing at 5'9", 181, native of Morrisburg, Ontario, has 2 assists in 24 games this season. He'll be paired up with number 74, Dylan Carabia, standing at 6'3", 200 pounds, native of Sebastian, Florida, playing in game number 5 this season. Still looking for his first point. Missed the first 20-plus games of the season due to injury, activated off IR during the Utah series, has played in every game since. Carabia paired up with Jarvis here today to round out the starting 5 skaters for Atlanta. And getting the start between the pipes for your Atlanta Gladiators, number 31, Ethan Hyder, standing at 6'4", 190 pounds, native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, has been exceptional in his sophomore season with the Gladiators, under contract with the AHL's Milwaukee Admirals. Hyder this season will be playing in game number 13 here tonight with a record of 9-3. 2.38 goals against average, a .922 save percentage. Hyder is one of the league's best. Gladiators, for my money, and statistically, do have the league's best goaltending tandem. They're the only team in the ECHL to have 2 goaltenders with 9 or more wins each. As the Swamp Rabbits hit the ice, they are wearing their white jerseys with orange numbers and orange trim. Gladiators hit the ice as well. They are wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers and trim. They will skate from right to left to begin action here today. Greenville from left to right. We did mention earlier in the pregame show that the Gladiators are dressing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Your top line, Sylvester, Young, and Nolan. Your third line, Mickey Burns, Ethan Scardina, and Ryan Francis. And then the 2 forwards, Riley Appel and Peter Morgan, make up your makeshift fourth line. And you turn your attention to the back end. We'll see Nychuk paired with Matir. Orzek making his Gladiators debut wearing number 9. Will be paired up with Brendan Less. Jarvis and Carabia get the start. And your extra defenseman here is the pride of Woodstock, Georgia, number 11, Zach Yoder, who we may see play some shifts as a forward here tonight just due to the fact that the Gladiators are down a forward. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen Yoder do that in his career. And so it should be an interesting night for the Gladiators here in the Upstate as they look to make it 4 wins in a row and shake off any rust from the holiday break, as it is their first game in 12 days. We do have the starters for Greenville, and so we will start with their starting forward line. It is Big John Parker Jones getting the start for Greenville at right wing, standing at 6'7", 230. Native of Brantford, Ontario. We'll see number 19, Ryan O'Reilly, as his starting center here tonight. O'Reilly standing at 6'3", 220. Gets the nod down the middle, and newly acquired forward from Cincinnati, Remy Parker. Spent the first few years of his career with the Cyclones. Was acquired in a trade right before Christmas. Played in his first game with Greenville on Wednesday. Parker gets the start at left wing, wearing number 22 for Greenville. So the starting lineup, forward line for Greenville, Parker, O'Reilly, and Parker Jones. The starting 2 defensemen, Jake Murray alongside Josh Atkinson, the former Gladiator. And between the pipes for Greenville here today, Matthias Scholl, back from Ontario, wearing number 30. Coming up next here from Bon Secours Wellness Arena, it is the national anthem here in Greenville. Thank you for tuning into the Atlanta Gladiators pregame show. We are back after this. We are all set and ready to go here from Greenville, South Carolina. Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits doing battle for the 7th time this season. Guy Chiarenza here with you from Bon Secours Wellness Arena here in Greenville for what should be a good matchup between these two rivals. 7th meeting of the season. Each of the prior 6 have been decided by 2 or less goals. Should be fun. Gladiators with a new look lineup, 2 new guys in the lineup. O'Brien wearing number 19, the forward. Orzek, the defenseman, wearing number 9. Should be interesting for a team that just lost its 2 leading goal scorers. Atlanta's going to need some extra help scoring here today. We'll see how O'Brien fares in his first game as a Gladiator, and see if Atlanta can overcome its biggest hurdle of the season with a big win on the road here tonight. Gladiators wearing blue jerseys with Gladiator gold trim. They will skate from right to left. Swamp Rabbits wearing white jerseys with orange numbers and orange trim. They will skate from left to right to begin play here tonight in Greenville. Three-man officiating crew led by Chaz Notch wearing number 33, Kyle Gaspari, and Shane Gustafson. The two linesmen wearing number 67 and 87 respectively. Get us going here tonight in Greenville. Puck is dropped and away we go. Puck trickles down and Denemy will retrieve it from his own end of the ice. He'll shuffle it to the far corner for Carabia. Takes a swipe at it, pops down to the half wall. Cipollone helps it to the line, but it's held in by Atkinson and then subsequently poked away by Cipollone on the second effort. Murray slides it through the neutral zone, looks for Sheriff on the left wing, jumbles off his stick and goes down deep to the trapezoid. Where picking it up is Andrew Jarvis. No Ryan Conroy here tonight. Fought Tim Lovell in the final 5 minutes of the last meeting between these two, which little did we know would end up being the Gladiators' last game before the strike and the holiday break and the turn of the calendar year. Conroy suspended one game for that incident, so he did not make the trip. He is not here with the team. And so here tonight we see newly acquired Norland Orzek paired up with Brendan Less. Gladiators ice the puck, so we'll see a face-off to the right of Ethan Hyder, starting netminder here tonight for the Gladiators. Last time we saw Hyder stop 29 of 30 in the 2-1 overtime win against these Swamp Rabbits in this building on the 20th of December. Gladiators lift the puck through the neutral zone again, and it's another icing. 50 seconds gone by in the first. Gives us a chance to talk about Greenville starting netminder Matthias Scholl. And Scholl on the season with a record of 4-5-2, 2.19 goals against average, 926 save percentage, and one shutout, has returned from Ontario, the AHL affiliate of the Swamp Rabbits. Last time he played an ECHL game, stopped 32 of 33 in a 41 win against Greensboro on the 13th of December. A shot from the left wing, broken up in front of Hyder. Cipollone skates it to the line, and Greenville once again able to keep it in. From the far corner, they dig their way to the goal line. Sheriff spinning, has it peeled away by O'Brien. He gets high-sticked on his first shift as a Gladiator. And Atlanta, 1:07 into the first, is headed to the power play. And O'Brien took that one hard, ended up sliding down right in front of his own bench. That's a heck of a way to spend your first shift. Starts the game, draws a penalty, and they are bringing out the towel. Appears to be a 4-minute double minor to the Swamp Rabbits. And so we will see an extended eco-electric power play to begin the game for Atlanta. Dante Sheriff, the culprit, he is in the box. And the Gladiators have a chance to take an early lead. Bit of a careless play there from Dante Sheriff. It's the Gladiators on a 4-minute eco-electric power play. They win the face-off. Orzek on this power play. Turns it to his right for Francis. To the goal line, finds Burns. Back to Francis. One-timer, stopped by Scholl. Rebound cleared out the center by the Swamp Rabbits. Good look to start that power play. Win the face-off. Got Orzek quarterbacking things here. And so he is thrust right into the action. His first power play as a Gladiator. Cross-ice feed on time for Mateer. 3 forwards, 2 defensemen on this unit for the Gladiators right now, as Mateer in the near corner spins away from 2 Swamp Rabbits, tries to jolt it up the wall to Cipollone, and Greenville able to sniff it out, pitches it all the way through center, and for a clear. So that unit will head off. Burns, Cipollone, Francis, and the 2 defensemen. On comes Nolan, Sylvester, and Denemy. Gladiators try and thread it through center. Ends up going down as an icing again. That's 3 icings against the Gladiators in the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the game. 3:01 left on the power play, and we'll see another face-off near Ethan Hyder. So without Louis Boudon, without Isaac Walter, obviously your power plays are going to look a bit different. So on this unit, you've got Sylvester, Nolan, Denemy, Nychuk, and Alex Young. So now you got 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. Nychuk, one of the league's best, will quarterback it as the lone D-man. And he does have it, emerging from behind Hyder. Going right down the middle slowly, slingshots it back to Young, and he will gain center circle and a little bit more. Young from the right wing, It's checked at the half wall by Atkinson. Puck is loose. Greenville tries to sweep it out. They turn it over to Sylvester. Gets sandwiched by two Swamp Rabbits, and away they go. Patrick Polino moving down the right wing, takes a shot into the glove of Hyder. And they'll keep it moving to Nychuk. Narrowly evades his own man and Nolan from behind the net. And the Gladiators fumble it at center circle and turn it over. Greenville sauces it down again. And a bit of a sleepy start to this eco-electric power play for the Gladiators. Again, Atlanta, due to unforeseen circumstances with the holiday break and the strike, are playing in their first game in 12 days. So there is a little bit of rust to be shaken off. See if they can shake it off quickly. Under 2 minutes left on the power play. Nychuk tries to go right down Broadway, makes his way to the end wall. Behind the net, on his forehand, swipes it over to the right wing, looking for O'Brien. Greenville gets in front of it, battle at the circle, and they will skate it out. Out of the zone is Shandor. Wires one off the end wall. Both teams get a change. Back on is that unit we saw before. Orzek right down the middle. Feeds it to his right for Cipollone. Drop pass, and on the move is Francis. He's got some speed. Francis on the right wing. Cuts to the net. Around he goes, and the puck just rolls off the stick. Couldn't get a shot away. Dribbles over to the near corner. Mateer digs it out. Orzek walks the line. Has Mateer at the left point. Back up top, it's Orzek. To the right wing, Burns. Quick pass to Francis. From the right circle, surveys. Slides it down low to Burns. Back to Francis. Waiting, looking. Francis across finds Mateer. Top of the left circle. Plays it to the line. Orzek dekes and fires. He scores! Nolan Orzek, his first goal as a Gladiator. It's on the power play, and Atlanta leads 1-0. Welcome to the squad. Nolan Orzek rips it from downtown, hits the back of the net, and Atlanta, with a power play goal, has the first goal of the night. That goal comes 4:10 into the first period. And the Gladiators do score on the power play and make it a 1-0 game. Orzek's got his first as a Gladiator, his fourth of the season. Scored 3 with the Heartlanders earlier this season. And the Gladiators draw first blood. Greenville looking to get that one back. They'll slide it behind Hyder. Poisson gets a piece of it. Trickles over to Scardina on the near side. Loses it to Brackett. Gets tied up by Appel. Tries to knock it out the zone, but it's held in by Poisson at the right point. Appel keeping with the play. Able to force it out to center. And Greenville will be forced to reset. So Orzek's got his fourth of the year, his first as a Gladiator, coming on the power play from Mateer and Francis. That has made it a 1-0 Atlanta lead. Atkinson through the neutral zone has a man right on the blue line. Drifting right is Remy Parker. Puck dribbles to the line, shot from there, screeches wide of Hyder from Berg. Greenville with the puck back, cycles back up to the line. O'Reilly tries to play it to the goal line, but it's picked off by Young, and he will surge to the neutral zone. Young gains the attacking line, finds Sylvester on the wall, looks to center for Nolan, passes broken up by Greenville, and they are able to get it to their own line, but not out. Big check by Nolan. Young tries to find Sylvester in front. That gets broken up by Big John Parker Jones, and Greenville escapes any more danger. John Parker Jones feeds it left wing for Sheriff. Centering pass rolls in on Hyder, and I beg your pardon, that was actually Polino as the puck rolled in on Hyder. He freezes with 14:06 left in the first. Great start for the Gladiators. Lead the shot count 3-2. Had that 4-minute power play and ended up scoring in the tail end of it, so the second half. So we are back to even strength after the goal, coming from Nolan Orzek, his first as a Gladiator. Atlanta will pitch it out to the neutral zone at the D-zone face-off victory. Hausinger on the right wing springs it down the wall. O'Hara pulls on the brakes, tries to cut to the inside and shoots. Low drive stopped by Hyder, kicks it away with the right pad. And now Cipollone feeds it cross ice for O'Brien. O'Brien shoots, glove save Scholl, and there's no rebound. 6:19 gone by in the first. Gladiators strike first. Orzek's got his first as a Gladiator. We are back in just a moment after these words from our local sponsors.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, one of the main talking points from the pregame show was some of the new guys need to have an immediate impact. Well, that's exactly what we've got so far here tonight. Gladiators on the power play get a strike from newcomer Nolan Orzek, newly acquired defenseman in the trade from Iowa. That happened on Monday. Jack Robilotti, Anthony Furiolo on their way to the Midwest. Coming to Atlanta, Jack O'Brien, who drew the penalty, getting high-sticked. And then Nolan Orzek scoring on it for his first goal as a Gladiator. Matier and Francis with the 2 assists. And Atlanta currently has a 1-0 lead with 13:41 left in the first. Face off to the right of Scholl. Scardina out there with Burns, and Francis loses that draw. Greenville meanders out to center. Pass is picked off by Scardina. Finds Francis on the left wing. Pulls up at the half wall. Plays it to the line. Shot by Jarvis. Sticked away by Scholl. It'll go into the netting in the back of the end zone. And the clock will stop with 13:26 left in the first. The Gladiators have done a really good job of scoring first so far this season. Gladiators have now scored first in 4 straight games. They've won their last 3. And they have won 9 straight when scoring the first goal of the game. The Gladiators, when scoring first this season, are 15-2. Carabia from his own goal line finds Jarvis in the near corner. Gets pinned up on the wall. Puck leaks free for a shot by Sheriff. Hyder on high alert, able to hug the post, put down the pad, and keep it out. Atlanta escapes out to center. Scardina waffles at right wing looking for Burns. Greenville able to poke that away. And so from the red line, Les will blast it in. As onto the ice comes Riley Appelt. Tries to pinch the puck in the zone. It does. Cipollone tries to dig it out of his skates along with the defender on the far wall. Able to scoot it to the corner. And now behind the net. Escaping is Morgan from the near side on his forehand. Tries to center. Shot. Yoder! He scores! Zach Yoder's first of the season. Makes it a 2-0 Gladiator lead. What a play by Peter Morgan to find Zach Yoder streaking in. Gladiators by a pair. The pride of Woodstock, Georgia has his first of the year. And Atlanta, against all odds, has a 2-0 lead. That goal scored 7:21 into the first period. Both goals for the Gladiators coming from defensemen. And Atlanta leads by a deuce. So Yoder's got his first of the year. Peter Morgan with the assist on a heck of a play to somehow escape along the wall. Good pinch by Appelt on the clearing attempt. Started that play, and then Morgan able to shimmy down the wall, find Yoder on the centering feed, and the big defenseman puts it in the back of the net for the score. Gladiators looking for more, working in the near corner. Young center, Sylvester, backhand try, fought off by Scholl. Second attempt, somehow kept out. Scholl falls on it and freezes with 11:56 left in the first. Gladiators are buzzing. Greenville on their heels. Face off to the left of Scholl. On comes the O'Brien, Cipollone, Denemy line. Off the face-off, Denemy on the wall, tries to play it to the point. O'Brien fighting there to keep it in. And he does, but we do have a whistle hand pass with 11:48 to go in the opening frame. Gladiators lead the shot count 8-4. Said it earlier, despite all odds, you would think that Greenville would have the upper hand here tonight, getting 3 guys back from the AHL. Gladiators losing their 2 leading goal scorers. But it is the visiting Atlanta Gladiators with a 2-0 lead early. They scoot it down behind Scholl. Picking it up there is Berg for Greenville. Pinballs off a couple of skates to the near side where it's reeled in by Lovell. Loses the puck to O'Brien. Gladiators scoot it through the neutral zone. No icing. And back to retrieve it is Berg. Think about Louis Boudon and what he was able to do for this team. One of the most impactful things that he did do was when he did not have the puck as a forechecker. So we'll see who steps up in that regard for the Gladiators here. One of those guys, I think, is Ethan Scardina. He's been an excellent forechecker for the Gladiators this season. Out there right now on the ice, Francis plays it to the line for a shot by Carabia that's kicked away by the right pad of Scholl. On the near wall, it is Orzek, keeping the play alive. Pumps it down to the trapezoid for Burns. Shuffled around the boards to Francis on the right wing. Rides up to the line. Francis hanging on. Feeds it left wing. Pass is picked off by O'Reilly. He'll skate it out to center and a little bit more. Ryan O'Reilly off the end wall is able to hammer it to a man streaking in. Behind the net, O'Hara plays it to the line. Shot by Mosry. Deflected in front. Just goes wide of Hyder on the near side. Scardina able to retrieve it from behind the net. DeYoung hangs on to it at the line. Distributes to the trapezoid and around the boards to the far corner. Greenville back the other way. Centers for a one-time blast by Hausinger. Fought off by Hyder. They crash the crease and score. Patrick Polino able to tap it in. Greenville cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. Just a breakdown there for the Gladiators in their own zone. They can't get out. Greenville able to cycle around. Eventually, Hausinger finds some open space, takes a big blast. Hyder gets a piece of it, but it's not enough. Ends up dribbling behind him. Polino crashes the crease like a vulture, just eyeing that puck, swooping in, puts it in the back of the net for the score.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Well, what an interesting start we've had to this one. It is Polino, his 5th of the year, from Hausinger and O'Hara to make it a 2-1 game and get Greenville its first of the night. And they are going to take this. They got the ice crew out there. I don't believe they're taking this to review. Ice crew is out there for a second. Looks like we're good. Good goal for Polino. And so it is a 2-1 hockey game. 9:47 gone by in the first. Well, that ignited the crowd within Bon Secours Wellness Arena a little bit. And Greenville blast it back in from the red line. Hausinger gets checked on his way to the near corner. Puck is stripped away by Riley Appelt. Flings it to the neutral zone. Morgan loses the race to Modry. And he will skyhook it to the near corner as Hausinger checks down a Gladiator. That's Jarvis in the corner. Appelt joins the fray. And you've got some pushing and shoving. Bad blood. Play stays alive. Murray drifting left, passing right. Finds Sheriff for a shot at the point. That gets blocked by Brendan Less. Meanwhile, Polino lost his bucket. He's forced to go to the bench. Appelt will pick up his equipment as a shot from the slot goes away from Hyder off the end wall. Now we've got a fight. Riley Appelt right in the thick of it, going up against John Parker Jones. Appelt gets swung down by 6'7", 230 John Parker Jones. But not before he gets a couple of good hits in himself. What a game this has been. Riley Appelt gets a couple of good righties in there, but John Parker Jones looked down at the count for a moment, but able to pick himself off the floor and then just kind of suplex Appel. And I wonder if that might warrant a penalty. I mean, that's something that you would see in a WWE match. But here is the tale of the tape. So John Parker Jones, we don't call him Big John Parker Jones for nothing. 6'7", 230. 25-year-old is a big guy, but Riley Appel can go toe-to-toe with the best of them. Appel 6'3", 200. Also 25 years old himself. And so we'll see. Obviously, you're going to get the 5 for fighting here. I'm curious to see if anything else is tacked on John Parker Jones for that extra move at the end of that fight. And John Parker Jones escorted out of the box. Looks like he's going to go down the tunnel to the Greenville locker room. So interesting development there. Meanwhile, the Pelt still in the visitors' penalty box. And so we'll see. No official announcement made down at ice level as the ice crew has since come out. Take a quick 15-second break here from the upstate. We are back after this.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
What a wild one we've had back here in Greenville. First 2 goals belong to the Gladiators. Orzek is first as a Gladiator on the power play. Second goal from Zach Yoder. Zach Yoder is first of the season. And then Greenville comes roaring back with a goal from Polino. And then recently we have a fight between Riley Appelt and Big John Parker Jones. And now we're just waiting to see if there's any extra penalties to be had for both skaters. So those in-house get another good look at that finishing move from Parker Jones at the end of the fight. Gladiators sending out 4, Swamp Rabbits sending out 5. And so it looks like it is Greenville going to the power play. And the Gladiators are on the Beaver Toyota and Mazda penalty kill. We did not get official hand signal or verbal announcement from our referee. So we'll just have to wait for it to roll in on the box score, but it is Greenville on the man advantage. Sheriff from the right circle shoots, save, Hyder, rebound. Almost went to the back of the net by Polino again on a second chance, but this time Hyder able to make the stop. Now it's Sheriff again, pushing it to the line. Level, left wing for a shot, deflected in front, but it goes wide of Hyder again. Denemy able to poke it through center, does have a shorthanded goal this season. Gladiators still on the penalty kill for the next minute and 28 seconds. Sheriff flies down the right wing. Stops in the near corner. Hacks it off the wall looking for Polino. Met at the wall by Nolan. Polino goes cross ice. Chance for Mastrodonato. Snapped up by the glove of Hyder with 1:15 left on the power play and 8:36 remaining in the first period. So here is the tale of the Greenville special teams. Gladiators did score a power play goal on their first power play of the night. Technically their second on the second half of the double minor. The Greenville's penalty kill very good, but their power play woeful. 10.9%, 29th in the ECHL this season. Second to last, Gladiators penalty kill, 83.8%, 12th best in the ECHL entering today. Here is Young short-handed, one-on-one with the defenseman Lovell. Shot is blocked. Rebound goes behind the net, and Lovell will retrieve with 1 minute left on the power play for Greenville. And so the reason for the power play, unsportsmanlike conduct to Riley Appelt, Ryan Francis is serving. Polino on the right wing, takes it in at the point, takes a shot, deflected in front, goes wide of Hyder to his right, and will stay in the zone, courtesy of Lovell. Traffic jam on the left wing, pass to the line, goes to Lovell, peels away from Young, who swipes it to the point, held in by Mastrodonato, finds Polino for a shot, deflected in front by Hausinger, but Hyder is there to make the save. 25 seconds left on this Greenville power play, and for the Swamp Rabbits this season, power play not good, but even worse at home. Greenville has scored just 4 home power play goals this season. 4 for 57. That is just 7% their power play at home. Face off on the near circle. O'Brien wins it to the corner. And Nychuk tries to send it barreling out, but it's held in by Berg. Right wing shot from Shandor. Gobbled up by Hyder. 18 seconds left on the power play for Greenville. Do it again. Face off on the near circle to the left of Hyder. O'Brien does not win this one. Greenville's got it. Berg, left wing for Atkinson. Atkinson had a power play goal in the last meeting between these two that spoiled the shutout for TJ Septemfelter with 4 seconds left in that contest. Shot from the line, glove save Hyder. 3 seconds, make that 2 left on the Swamp Rabbits power play. And now we're not going to say it's successful yet, as we have learned earlier in the season on the Reed Lebster incident that you can score in less than a second, but so far so good for this Gladiators PK, presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda. Face off right back again on that near circle. O'Reilly against O'Brien. Meanwhile, O'Hara and Mateer jousting. And they might get a warning here. That's not once but twice. And now, Gustafson will drop the puck. Greenville wins it. Berg at the line, feeds it left. Francis out of the box, back to even strength as the shot gets deflected out of play behind Hyder. 7:16 left in the first. And now officially it is a successful Beaver Toyota and Mazda penalty kill. Atlanta 1 for 1 on the PK to end the night. So 1 for 1 on the power play, 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Good start to the special teams department for the Gladiators here in the upstate. Nice off to the right of Hyder, won by the Gladiators. They'll toss it to the neutral zone, looking for Sylvester. O'Hara wrestles that away from him. And Greenville puts a shot in on Hyder from the left wing. Jarvis spins away from a check from O'Reilly in the far corner. Puck behind the net. O'Reilly's got it for Greenville. Spinning in the corner. Can't quite escape Zach Yoder. Finds Sylvester on the left wing. Finds Jarvis moving up ice. Beating it right wing. Morgan checked after the whistle as the Gladiators are offside with 6:47 left in the first period. Shout out to those members of Glad's Nation that made the trip up I-85 here to Greenville. I know Joe Mama's in the house. Saw Joe Mama roaming the concourse pre-game. Always good to see Glad's fans on the road. We'll be back home tomorrow for the first ever meeting between the Gladiators and the Greensboro Gargoyles for Star Wars night at Gas South Arena. If you don't already have your tickets, get them, as they are going fast. Meanwhile, at the red line, or should I say the orange line here in Greenville, puck trickles back to Lovell, and he will scan the ice, play it up to Poisson, moving to his right. We'll just toss it into the near corner. Orzek will battle with Brackett. Brackett checks down Orzek. He'll spring back up to his feet. Greenville with the puck, sliding it to the line. Lovell drifting left, shoots, looking for a tip from Peterson. Puts it on goal for a kick save by the left toe of Hyder. Now behind the net, Scardina pushes it up ice for Burns. Mickey Burns, the Mercyhurst product, drifting left, shoots off the stick of Modry. Puck stays in play on the far side. O'Brien has it, looks to find a trailer, misses Cipollone by a few feet, and ends up going back down the Gladiators' territory. And so Burns will now head off, and Denemy will head on. Cipollone weaves his way over the red line, wires it from corner to corner to the near side. Denemy crashing to the half wall with O'Brien, keeps the play alive. Greenville tries to force it out, but O'Brien is stronger. They weasel it to the trapezoid. Denemy tries to get a touch on it. Atkinson coming out of a hit from Cipollone, tries to twist it out, turns it over to Cipollone. He fires a shot wide of Scholl. Behind the net, centering pass. Denemy shoots off the stick of Atkinson and out of play with 5:13 to go. Sneaky play for the Gladiators, and they've been working so hard along the boards here tonight, creating some plays. We saw that on the goal from Zach Yoder. Good play by Peter Morgan and company to set up that play. Gladiators winning the gritty areas so far here tonight, and they have the lead 2-1 with 5:13 left in the first when we come back to Greenville here on the first game of 2026. Back here in the upstate, 5:13 left in the first period. Gladiators with a 2-1 lead. Greenville does lead the shot count 14-9, and Gladiators got off to a fast start. Greenville rallied back with a goal from Polino. Gladiators trying to turn the tide of the momentum here at the tail end of the first period. 5 minutes left in period one. Mateer spinning on his own blue line, feeds it to the right wing off the stick of O'Brien, ends up going to Murray. The defenseman for Greenville jolts it up ahead, and the Swamp Rabbits will plot out their next attack. Atkinson chips it to the near corner. Off the wall, Mateer takes a check from Shandor. They'll battle behind Hyder. Greenville looks to center. Quick chance, shot down by Hyder, right between the circles. Puck will leap out of play, hit the glass on its way out. No penalty, 4:36 left in the first. And that's a play for the Gladiators that cannot happen. Just a battle, and everybody kind of just gets sucked into that vacuum, that black hole behind the net, and Sheriff centers it for a quick chance on Ethan Hyder. And that chance coming off the stick of Keaton Mastrodonato. That's a guy that you do not want to have getting that kind of opportunity. Mastrodonato, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Greenville's leading point scorer entering the day. As puck caroms on, lay off the wall and a dump in. Goes to the slot. Gladiators clean it up. Jarvis between the circles. Lifts it through center. Over the head of Lovell. Icing on Atlanta. 4:16 to go. So the Gladiators start the month of January and really the 2026 calendar year here in Greenville on the road. And that's going to be a common theme for the Gladiators here this month as Atlanta plays only 4 home games at Gas South Arena this month. Start here in Greenville, got 2 home games back-to-back, January 3rd, tomorrow against Greensboro, and then next Friday, the 9th, against Savannah, and then head to the road, Savannah and Greenville. A couple more back at home against the Swamp Rabbits, and then you start the longest road trip of the year. 7 games on the road. Gladiators head further south, and so we're really going to get to see what this team is made of, especially on the road here in the month of January. Nolan on the right wing, leaves it for Young, able to peel away from the pressure by O'Reilly. Sashays his way right in front of the Greenville bench before getting shut down. Nolan with the puck back, wheels it to Les over the red line, angles it off the left wing wall to Sylvester. Gladiators captain spun off the puck by Lovell. Greenville through the neutral zone, hammers it off the near side corner wall, where it'll roll in on Hyder, and he will cover it up with 3:33 to go in period one. For a moment there in this game, it looked like this was going to turn into a shootout. 3 goals, 2 for the Gladiators, 1 for the Swamp Rabbits, scored in the opening 10 minutes of the game, but since that point, no scoring. Face off to the right of Hyder. Scardina out there with Francis. And Morgan will take this face off. Greenville's won it. Shot by Modry. Stopped by Hyder in front. Might have gotten blocked by Les. Gladiators clearing out the center. DeYoung turns it over. Scardina takes advantage. Scardina to the goal. Backhand chance goes wide. Has his own rebound. Plays it to the line for a shot by Yoder. That gets blocked by Polino. Scardina back to his feet. Tries to center it. 4 less, but doesn't pinch, gets back into defensive position. Smart move as Greenville moves up ice. Gladiators shut them down on the line. Francis springs ahead. Right wing shot, stopped by Scholl. No rebound. 2:57 left in the first. Face off to the left of Matthias Scholl. O'Brien back out there with Cipollone, and Denemy will take this face off on the far circle up against Hudson Shandor. Shandor, the former college teammate of Ethan Hyder at UConn, wins that face off. But Greenville can't escape. Denemy keeps it in. Pelts it around to the far corner. Gladiators forechecking hard, trying to keep the play alive. Denemy, Nychuk, they converge in the near corner. Puck leaks free to Greenville, and skating upwards is Murray. The big defenseman right down the middle, puts it wide of Hyder. Off the wall comes to Sheriff. He gets whacked away from the puck by Mateer. Greenville able to keep it at the line. They'll sauce it to the near corner. Nychuk floats it through the neutral zone away from the glove of Murray. Icing with 2:18 left in the first. We'll pay another visit to Ethan Hyder. Hyder in his sophomore season with the club, looking for his 10th win of the year. Gladiators goaltending tandem by far and away the best in the ECHL so far this season. They're the only team in the ECHL to have 2 goaltenders with 9 or more wins. Hyder looking for his 10th win here tonight. Septemfelter picked up his 10th in the last meeting between these two on the 21st of December. But Hyder this year, 2.38 goals against average, 922 save percentage, and the 9-3 record. He has been sensational. As a shot from Mastronado, steered away by the stick of Hyder. Rebound to Lovell. He'll go around the net. Pop out. Back up at the line. Move to his forehand. Right circle. Looks to center. Mastronado a chance. Stopped by Hyder. Rebound behind the net. And Shandor gets checked off of it. Clearing attempt held in by Lovell. Greenville controlling the play and the pace. They sauce it to the trapezoid. Behind the net, Shandor looking off the wall to himself. Turns it over to Nychuk. Now he turns it over to Sheriff. Between the circles, shoots. Gets deflected. Goes off the side of the net. And Cipollone will clear. Strong start for the Gladiators. And the tides have quickly turned. Greenville controlling late here in the first period. Gladiators at this point just trying to get to the locker room. Greenville leading the shot count 17-10. And they're not backing down. Berg on the right wing drops it off. Polino centers. Mastrodonado's shot again. Turned away by Hyder. He's been the MVP so far this first period. Polino another chance. Hyder can't locate the rebound after making the save. Atlanta sweeps it to the corner, and Sylvester clears to the neutral zone. 1:05 left in the first period. O'Hara feeding left has Hausinger off the bench. He'll knife his way to the corner. Jarvis defending. Hausinger chips it to the near corner in the final minute. Polino has it, working on the half wall, checked off it by Orzek. Hausinger steps in to keep it for Greenville. Finds O'Hara. At the point, puck is juggled by Polino. Gladiators take advantage. Orzek on the left wing, tries to knife it down deeper. It's picked away by O'Hara, and Modry will float it through the neutral zone right to Hausinger. 30 seconds left in the period. Les off the wall finds Sylvester on the near side. He will just whack it out to center. Young takes it on the move. Alex Young, cross-ice feed, flagged down by Nolan. Working on the half wall, gets checked by O'Reilly. Young steps in to help out. Nolan puts it to the blue paint. Lurking there is Burns. Has the puck, finds Les. 10 seconds to go. Les shoots, score! Brendan Les from downtown with 7 seconds left in the period. Makes it 3-1 Atlanta. Brendan Les' first goal as a Gladiator makes it 3 first-period goals by Atlanta defensemen. And Atlanta's got its 2-goal lead back. What a game. Time runs out on the first period. We've got a lot to talk about coming up in the first intermission report. Atlanta leads it 3-1 thanks to the late first period goal from Brendan Les, his first as a Gladiator. That is a common theme here in today's game, and we'll talk all about it on the first intermission report. Gladiators lead 3-1 here in the Upstates. Coming up next, we'll recap the first period of play, look ahead to the second, take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and what's going on a busy night in the ECHL. And, of course, as always, we'll take a peek at our YouTube live chat and get your thoughts on tonight's game and talk some shop here on a Friday night in Greenville. All that coming up on the other side of the break. First intermission report on the other side. Atlanta 3, Greenville 1 when we come back to South Carolina.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Well, this one's been a ton of fun. Gladiators 3-1 over the Swamp Rabbits after one period of play from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. I'm Guy Chiarenza here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, and for those of you in the building, what a treat this one has been. Gladiators traveling to South Carolina in their first game back after the holiday break, and the players' strike, the work stoppage, everything their first game in 12 days. First game of 2026, and boy, did they start it off with some fireworks. Talk all about that in a second, but just want to give a big shout out to all of our fans that made the trip up here to Bon Secours Wellness Arena. That does not go unnoticed. Your support for our team, we really appreciate it, and I certainly know the Gladiators players do. So speaking on their behalf and the coaching staff as well, thank you all for making the trip and listening in if you are listening in the arena here today. Saw a couple of familiar faces on the concourse. Always good to see. Makes it feel like home away from home. So for the Gladiators, what an interesting start to this game. So all the talk was in the first coming into the game in the first period, and the pregame show was Gladiators without their top two goal scorers. Boudon signs overseas. He's not coming back. Isaac Walter in Milwaukee on loan. We don't know if or when he'll be back. And so for Atlanta, they do make the trade on Monday. They get Jack O'Brien, the forward from Iowa, and they also get the defenseman from Iowa, Nolan Orzek. And the talk in the pregame show was these guys needed to make an immediate impact, and that is exactly what they did on the Gladiators' first goal of the game. So, hard work from O'Brien. He gets high stick. He draws a double minor penalty. And so Dante Sheriff goes to the box. Gladiators get an extended look on the eco-electric power play. That proves to be pivotal as the other new guy on the block, Nolan Orzek, scores the goal for the Gladiators from long range. Makes it a 1-0 Atlanta lead from Atir and Francis on the power play tally, coming 4:10 into the first period. And so for the Gladiators, couldn't draw it up any better. Great start. Get some work on the power play done. Take a 1-0 lead. And The only thing that could have happened that would have made that better is if they score again, and that's what they did. Unsung heroes in tonight's game. Everybody stepping up here on the road. 7:21 into the first period. Zach Yoder gets in on the fun. This was a great play made by Peter Morgan in that line. Riley Appelt starts this play fresh off the bench. Jumps right into the play, keeps in a clearing attempt on the far wall, right in front of the blue line. And for the Gladiators, he's able to grind his way along the boards, keep the play alive, find Peter Morgan. He's able to grind it out on the boards. And he looks up, centers for Zach Yoder, streaking towards the net. Yoder's got his first of the year to make it a 2-0 Gladiators lead. So Morgan and Yoder combine on the score. We'll talk more about that play along the boards and that grittiness of this game as we go on through our first intermission report. But that is a factor on that goal for Yoder. Gladiators lead 2-0. But wait a minute, here comes Greenville, and it really was at this point in the game where the tide started to shift. Greenville gets a little antsy, falling behind by 2. They have to do something. And so what do? They get back to the basics. Try and get some sustained offensive zone time, cycle it around the bit, and then all of a sudden Cam Hausinger is wide open in the high slot, takes a blast of a shot on Hyder. Hyder gets most of it, but not all. Puck leaps over his shoulder, pops down the blue paint. Patrick Polino will crash the crease and score. This is going to Hausinger and Ryan O'Hara. 9:47 into the first to make it a 2-1 hockey game. Not long after that, we saw our first fight of the night. And I say first because it feels like we could see more with a game like this. The I-85 Rivalry does not disappoint. If you're a newcomer to this rivalry, welcome to it. It only gets better. Riley Appelt against Big John Parker Jones, and tell the tape, you really can't draw one up better than this. Riley Appelt standing at 6'3", 200. John Parker Jones, we don't call him Big John Parker Jones for nothing. Standing at 6'7", 230. It is a heavyweight bout. And ends up shaking down in the near corner of the Gladiators zone. Appelt, Parker Jones go at it. Parker Jones suplexes Appelt at the end of the fight, but Riley does get a couple of good punches in himself. It's one for the ages, fires up the crowd, and Greenville really took that and ran with it. And ever since then, they really had the momentum in the game. Greenville does outshoot Atlanta 20-11 there in the first period. Gladiators do kill off the subsequent penalty to Riley Appelt for instigating that fight. So they end up going 1-for-1 on the power play in the first period, 1-for-1 on the penalty kill in the opening frame. And they do tack on another goal from a defenseman right at the tail end of the period. So this is a great play by Mickey Burns and Ryan Nolan. And again, we talked about it on that goal from Yoder. The play of Appelt, the play of Morgan, keeping the play alive, staying gritty, staying with it along the boards. And that's exactly what happens again on this play that sets up the goal for Brendan Less. With 7.4 seconds left in the first period, Less gets his first goal as a Gladiator. And it doesn't happen without the hard play along the boards from Ryan Nolan and Mickey Burns. Those two pick up the assist on the goal to Less. And it's very similar to what we saw on the goal from Orzek. Really the same spot of the ice, same kind of shot, just long-range distance. Takes that shot. Brendan Less scores his first as a Gladiator. Now up to 1 goal and 3 assists on the campaign. It's his 4th career ECHL goal, and it has restored the Gladiators' 2-goal lead. 3-1, Atlanta leads after 1. So that is the tale of the first period. Ethan Hyder, though, one of those unsung MVPs for Atlanta there in the opening frame, really was put to the test there in the opening frame, stopping 19 of 20 there in the first period. Matthias Scholl, back from Ontario, playing in his first ECHL game since the 13th of December, stopped 8 of 11 in the first period. Gladiators dominate the special teams battle, going 1-for-1 on the power play, 1-for-1 on the penalty kill, and this first period has been absolute cinema. We'll preview the second when we come back here to Bon Secours Wellness Arena here in Greenville. And of course, as we do every single broadcast, we'll take a look at our YouTube live chat. Get your thoughts and comments here in tonight's game. Comment them down below if you haven't already. And we'll take a look at it on the other side of the break as we're having some fun on a Friday night from the upstate. All that on the other side of the break here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance, but at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We're approaching second period action here in Greenville. Gladiators lead 3-1. After one period of play, I'm Chiarenza here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, and boy, oh boy, was that first period a fun one. And if the second period is anything like what we saw in the first, we are in for a treat of a game here in Greenville. Gladiators back at home tomorrow to take on the Greensboro Gargoyles in the first ever meeting between Atlanta and Greensboro, at least the latest edition of the Greensboro Pro Hockey team in the Gargoyles. Should be a lot of fun, especially since it's Star Wars night, so make sure you get your tickets at AtlantaGladiators.com. And oh, by the way, Gladiators are wearing specialty jerseys that are Clone Trooper themed. And thanks to Parker Youngman, we do know there is a difference between the Clone Trooper and the Stormtrooper design. So it's not Stormtroopers, it is Clone Troopers. Those jerseys will be auctioned off after the game up on the concourse. So it should be a lot of fun. And just looking at my stats, Greenville out shooting Atlanta 20-11 through one period of play. That is the most shots that the Gladiators have given up in one period this season. The previous mark was 19, and the Swamp Rabbits did that back on November 5th. And the only time Greenville beat Atlanta so far this season, 3-1 win for the Swamp Rabbits on the school day game. They did that in the second period of that game. Well, they've now bested that mark. Season high shots against for Atlanta in the first period here today, but doesn't matter. They have a 3-1 lead, and so I don't think that they're too bent out of shape about that. So looking ahead to the second period, I honestly just hope that you see more of the same offensively for the Gladiators. Always good to see some D-men chipping in offensively, and it is interesting that 3 goals scored in the first period, all scored by defensemen, one on the power play for Morzek. And what's interestingly enough about that is that no skater on the Gladiators roster through one period of play, despite 3 goals, has more than 1 point. So it really just shows that it's been by committee, that next man up mentality has been really emphasized throughout the whole team. And put that all together, and you got a good first period. Now, obviously, with the 20 shots against, that season high in shots against, you don't want to see that happen again. And so if there is one retreat for the Gladiators here in the second period, find a way to make sure that Greenville's shots are limited. You want to make sure that at least they're not quality chances. Greenville did have a few there in the first period. So if you can find a way to turn that down a notch, get some more chances of your own, it's always a good thing. But all in all, good first period for the Gladiators. Even better one for Ethan Hyder. There were a couple chances for the Swamp Rabbits to get some good goals in there, but Hyder slammed the door shut. And so we'll see what the second period brings, but it should be a lot of fun. So let's take a minute to turn our attention to our YouTube live chat. Don't think I forgot about you guys. I know it's been a while, 12 days since we last did a Gladiators broadcast, and I'm happy to be back. The players are happy to be back. Everybody's happy to be back. And so good to see you all here for the first game of 2026, and little did we know the last game that we were all together, that would end up being the last game for the Gladiators in the year of 2025. But we're on to bigger and better things. Atlanta looking to open the new year with a win. And so let's take a look at the live chat, see what we've got here today. Justin Burke, Joe Mama in the live chat, Fuzzy as well. Good to see Karen here as well. Lee Thomas watching USA and Finland on the TV. Glads and Swamp Rabbits on the phone. It's the best way to do it, man. Best of both worlds. Tracy Hayes in the chat as well. Daffy Doo, good to see you. Rebecca B, Lynette. The gang's all here. Good to see everyone. Gladiator Fan 2 in the house. Stadium Arena, good to see you as always. April in the house as well. Looks like everybody's having fun. Everybody enjoying this one. Shout out to Bear Sutter, watching all the way back in Amarillo. Good to see you, buddy. Happy to see you in the live chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see Daniel, Mackenzie. That name I can never pronounce, and I'm not going to try it. A couple of new faces in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here to the show, to the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we welcome you. Gladiator Fan 2 is in Greenville, but not at the game. Oh, listen, man, I'll tell you. Going to enemy territory is actually more fun than you think, because that way, if you score and you win, a good time on the road, you get to talk a little smack talk to the home fans. Get them all riled up. It's a lot of fun. Gladiator Fan says, defense really showing the reason why we statistically have the best win percentage in the ECHL. Yes, that is true. And you think about what the Gladiators have done here today. Goals from the defense. Obviously, defense from the defense, and what Hyder's done between the pipes. It is a large story of why they are one of the best teams in the league to start the campaign. And so, for Atlanta, I mean, you think about it, it all starts from the back end, right? The two goalies on contract with Milwaukee, Hyder, Septenfelter, and it kind of just flows upwards from there, getting scoring from the defenseman here tonight. That's always good to see. And it felt like through much of the year that outside of what Anthony Furiolo was able to do, it really felt like a lot of what the Gladiators did offensively from the back end came from Chad Nychuk. And now you're starting to see here today, well, Orzek's got one, Yoder's got one, Les has got one. And I think that might be a good sign of things to come. You don't necessarily always need scoring from your defenseman, but if you can get it from them, it's really an added bonus. And so for the Gladiators to get 3 goals so far from D-men here today, that is certainly a good sign to see. Fuzzy says, hope that guy sitting behind you shares his chicken fingers. I don't think he will, and that's too bad. But there is a good barbecue joint downstairs on the concourse. Did have some of that before the game. Happy to be back, happy to see everybody, and happy to start the second period. That'll end the first intermission report here from Greenville. Gladiators lead 3-1 after one. Looking to build upon what they did in the first period with an even better second. Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers and trim, skating from left to right here in the second. Greenville wearing white jerseys with orange numbers and orange trim will skate from right to left in period 2. Jack O'Brien meets Ryan O'Reilly at center circle. Puck is dropped, and we are back for the middle frame. Greenville's won it. Atkinson blasted from corner to corner, up the wall to Denemy. Shuffles it to the neutral zone for Cipolo. Has a chance on the run. Cipolo looks to center for O'Brien. Swatted away by Atkinson, the former Gladiator, and Greenville's captain. And now the Swamp Rabbits go up ice. Parker shoots, save Hyder, the rebound. Pushed away from Parker by Carabia. What a defensive play from Carabia. Parker almost had a chance with that second opportunity as O'Brien draws another penalty. Carabia made that great defensive play. Now Jarvis scoots it behind the net. Murray will touch up, and so Gladiators will get their second power play chance of the day. And both times, Jack O'Brien has drawn the penalty. This time it's Remy Parker, one of the newest Swamp Rabbits, going to the box. Tripping the call on Parker. Gladiators back to the eco-electric power play. They are 1-for-1. The Orzek goal was scored on the man advantage. And we see that new look first unit for Atlanta out on the ice. Nolan, O'Brien, Nychuk, Sylvester, and Young, who will take the faceoff. Young wins it. Nychuk finds Sylvester on the right wing half wall. Scoots it to the goal line. Takes in the return feed and goes up top to Nychuk. Drifting left, looking right, passes to Sylvester. They'll trade places. Sylvester feeds it to the left circle for Young. He'll climb up the wall, sauce it down deeper. Nolan looking, doesn't shoot. Scans the ice and returns it to Young. At the left point, stares towards the net. Moving towards his right, feeds it to Nychuk. Gets to the left circle, cuts in tight, goes around the net, and finds Sylvester at the circle. Drops it back to Nychuk. Has a return feed. The captain from the near half wall steers it down low to O'Brien. Sneaks out in front, pinballs back to Sylvester. Plays it to the line for Nychuk. 45 seconds gone by in the power play as O'Brien just fires wide in the slot. Couple of quick passes. It'll roll off the stick of Young, and Greenville will clear, courtesy of Tim Lovell. Good passing, good puck control for the Gladiators, but a bit hesitant to shoot on that last sequence. See what they do here as the second unit comes on. Mickey Burns gets checked out the puck at the blue line. Greenville clears down to Hyder. Orzek quarterbacking things here for the Gladiators. Two defensemen here, three forwards. Mateer, the other D-man, as Francis weaves towards the net. Francis fires! Save made by the glove of Scholl. No rebound with 30 seconds left on the power play. 2:09 gone by in the second period. Good look there for Ryan Francis. And when he motors up ice like that, gets every bit of speed, no one's catching him. And they did. Had a good chance in on Scholl. But Greenville netminder makes the save. Face off to his right. Second unit stays out there as we've got a false start on the face-off. And so drop it again. And that is Shane Gustafson who will drop this puck between Burns and Polino. Polino wins it to the corner. Murray tries to shuffle it away. Pops in the near side. And wired all the way through by O'Hara. 20 seconds left on the power play. Fans in the building participate in the wave as Orzek drops it back over center circle for Francis. And away he goes again. Francis with speed. Drifting right, slows up at the point. Finds Orzek. Left wing shot by Mateer. Just goes wide of Scholl. Out of the box is Parker. Greenville back to full strength. On-man rush for Greenville. Atkinson shoots and scores. Dropped it back to the trailing defenseman. He hits the back of the net. 3-2 the score. The Greenville gets the kill. They go up ice. Parker out of the box. On-man rush for Greenville. Ended up dropping it back to the trailer and Atkinson. And he hits Pater and makes it a one-goal game for the second time tonight at 3-2. Had some open space. And just tickles the twine. And now, chance from the right wing, flubbed by Lovell. Josh Atkinson's got his fourth of the year, second goal of the season against Atlanta. And Atkinson's fared well against his former team this year. 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in 7 games so far in the season series for Atkinson. That goal coming 2:50 into the second. Cisco into Polino makes it a 3-2 game. Gladiators still with the lead as Carabia over the red line. Hacks off the end wall and heads to the bench. On the left wing, Peterson makes his way to the half wall, checked off it by Yoder. Sheriff keeps the play alive for Greenville. He'll get it to the line, shot by Modry, located and covered by Hyder. With just about 4 minutes gone by here in the second period. Face-off will be to the left of Hyder. On comes the Sylvester line with Young and Nolan. A couple of new line mates for Sylvester. Normally we'd see Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter with number 16, but their service is unavailable. It is Young and Nolan getting the call up to the first line. As Young Down the right wing, shoots, score! Oh, what a snipe by Alex Young! Gives the Gladiators their 2-goal lead back. It is 4-2 Atlanta. Didn't come in with a lot of speed, but really just fires a sneaky shot. My goodness. Able to sneak it in top shelf, and the Gladiators have their 4th of the night. First goal scored by a forward for Atlanta here today. Alex Young tickles the twine, has his 8th of the year. And Atlanta leads by 2 for the 3rd time tonight. This game just firing every twist and turn possible here today. What a treat coming back from the holiday break. Gladiators with the lead again. Greenville looking to change that. As Parker Jones centers for a chance by Parker. And Hyder is able to flag it down with a glove and hold with 15:26 left in the second. So let's go back to the goal for Alex Young. Just a sneaky, sneaky play from Young. Doesn't come in with a lot of speed. It's unassisted. Coming 4:03 into the second period. Young just down the right wing, takes his chances, gets to the circle. Able to go top shelf and in. What a beauty from Alex Young. 8th goal of the year. Makes it a 4-2 hockey game. The Tears stumbling, pumps it to the neutral zone. Greenville's got it. Parker Jones tries to wrestle his way into the attacking zone. Finally against O'Brien. Greenville offside on the entry. 15:13 to go in the second. This game's starting to turn into a track meet. Just an old-fashioned shootout. And go figure. I mean, you miss the country theme at Gas South Arena, which is one of the games that got postponed during the players' strike. The Country Boots and Frosty Roots theme, which, by the way, has been rescheduled for January 18th, so make sure you get your tickets for that. So that theme is still going on, but go figure. You missed that game. You missed that Wild West theme. Well, you kind of get it here today. It's turned into a Wild West shootout here in the upstate. 6 goals combined, and we're not even at the midway point of the game. Denemy has it in the neutral zone. Moving up by potential 3-on-2. Cipollone fires. Blocker save. Scholl. Denemy scores on the rebound. Carson Denemy puts it into the back of the net. 5-2 Gladiators. Big play for number 18. Atlanta has the biggest lead of the night. They lead by 3. That goal scored just about a minute after the goal from Alex Young. Carson Denemy's got his 3rd of the season. 5 goals on 15 shots, and Scholl is still in there. We talked about it in the pregame show. Had to be a big weekend for number 18. And that line for the Gladiators with O'Brien and Cipollone. Well, been a big night so far for every guy in the lineup, but that line combines for that goal. Gladiators lead by 3. Brackett over the attacking line, loses it to Mickey Burns. Francis over the attacking line. Gladiators called for offside. 14:15 to go in the second. Cipollone and Nychuk pick up the assists. On the goal from Denemy, his 3rd of the season. And that goal officially scored 58 seconds after the goal from Alex Young. So it was just about a minute As Morgan gets to work, looks to center. Inballs to the far wall. Morgan's got it back. Rips it around the boards. Sheriff is there. Finds the neutral zone, bangs it from corner to corner. On the right side, Sheriff whacks it to the left. Rodri activates from the line to keep it below the goal line. Emerging from there is O'Brien. Finds Morgan cross ice. On the right wing, pops it into the glove of Scholl, plays it down, and keeps play moving. Sheriff feeds it for Shandor. Moving up ahead, stripped away by Young. Already with a goal here today. Young stops at the left circle, centers for Nolan, leaves it for Mateer. Shot is stopped by Scholl. The rebound goes to Sheriff, stretches it up ice, looking for Mastrodonato, but it flubs off the stick and rolls to Hyder. Missed opportunity there for Greenville in transition. Sheriff on the forecheck tries to wrestle away from Mateer. They do, and center and score! O'Reilly makes it 5-3. Chaos in the upstate. Well, the goals are coming faster than you can count them. This one belongs to Ryan O'Reilly. Greenville with the gritty work below the goal line, scores on that kind of play for the second time tonight. This time, O'Reilly is the beneficiary. 2-goal game again, 5-3. Parker Jones moving right, takes a shot off a stick. That was Nychuk's. Goes out of play with 12:41 left in the period. What a night here in the upstate. 8 goals combined. 2:41 away from the midway point. Do not go anywhere. This one has been fun. We're back after this. This game has had all kinds of surprises in store. Gladiators lead 5-3. Most recent goal scored in the game came off the stick of Brian O'Reilly just moments ago. Assists go to Mastrodonato and Dante Sheriff. Denemy, who has one today, the most recent Gladiator goal, puts it through the neutral zone. Greenville's got it back. Murray being chased by O'Brien, forced to make a play, feeds it to the near wing. Parker Jones spinning, pushes it up ahead for O'Reilly, taps it in front. Parker all alone, robbed by Hyder. Point blank. No rebound. And there is that speed from the Swamp Rabbits that we talked about in the pregame show. Just kind of a slingshot play off the wall. Have a guy cruising towards the net front. They get it to him, all alone for the chance, and Hyder is able to make the save. Face off to the right of Hyder. Out of the pile comes Les. O'Hara tries to swindle it away and cannot. Burns takes it in at center circle, drops it off for Jarvis. Chips it over the red line, back to Burns. He burrows his way deep into the attacking zone. Puck comes to the line. Scardina turns and shoots. Gets blocked in front by Murray. Scardina's got it back in the neutral zone. Weaving to his right. Creeping along the wall, Scardina centers off a stick into Greenville. Able to poke it out through the neutral zone. Polino has a roll off his stick to Les. And now the Gladiators will quickly look to turn up ice. Francis has it knocked away by Hausinger. Greenville digging their way deep. A couple of hits are thrown. Scardina through the neutral zone. Can't connect with Francis. Berg gets in front of it. 11:19 left in the second. Lovell over the red line. Beating it right. Nobody home. Greenville in the middle of a line change. So Mateer will just push it through the neutral zone. Late offside on the Gladiators. Stretch pass off the stick of Poisson. Centers for Peterson. Great defensive play by Les to push him to the end wall. Puck stays to the outside for a shot by Berg. Kicked away by Hyder. Rebound goes to Young. Flips it up ahead. Greenville strips it away. Long shot stopped by the toe of Hyder. Chance for Brackett. Hyder makes the save. Another one off the tape of Poisson. Been a big night so far for Hyder. As a shot from the line gets blocked in front. Sylvester tries to poke it ahead, but Greenville recontrols. Berg will sauce it down to the trapezoid. Hyder slows it down for Mateer. Former Predators draft pick feeds it right wing for Nolan. Has a man at the line. Swatted down by Young. Greenville able to step in front of it and control. The puck swarms down near Hyder. Hunted down by Nychuk. Leaves it for Orzek. We finally hit the midway point of the game. 9:58 left in the second period. Denemy, cross size, looking for O'Brien. Puck was played with what looked to be a high stick, and it is. They do blow the plate dead. As Sheriff touched it up, 9:51 to go in the second. Gladiators lead the score 5-3. Greenville leads the shot count 28-17. This game has been everything we thought it would be and more. Been a lot of fun in the upstate. We'll come back after this.
This holiday season, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your holiday needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger. Fresh.
Gladiators lead 5-3. Both sides have scored twice here in the second period. 9:51 to go. Still plenty of time in this second period for more twists and turns. As Nychuk sidesteps at the right point, tries to cut to the inside, forced to peel back and just sauce it below the goal line to Cipollone. Behind the net, looks to center. Stop attempt from Denemy, shut down by Scholl. Clearing at 7, held at the line for now, although now Mastrodonato will pick it up, and Greenville will control. Loose puck at the line. Denemy tries to force his way up ice. Greenville having none of it. Sends Shandor down the right wing. Nychuk defends him well. Help from Denemy. Puck leaks over to Orzek. Cipollone has O'Brien in the neutral zone. One of the two newest Gladiators wedged off the puck on the near side. Greenville's got it back. Up ice goes Sheriff on the right wing. Drops it off for Shandor. Back to Sheriff. Cuts around the net on his forehand. Centers. Murray doesn't shoot. Puts it off the end wall. Puck rumbles in on Hyder. And he's able to pounce on it with 8:49 left. And we got a bit more bad blood. Already saw the fight between Parker Jones and Appelt earlier in the game. Riley Appelt on the ice for that latest sequence. And they finally break it up. Hyder putting together one of his best games of the year. Despite 3 goals against in this game, really felt like Hyder has been sharp tonight. To this point, he's already stopped 28 of 31. And you figure that's normally a stat line that you see at the end of the game, not at the midway point. Greenville's put a lot of shots on goal in this game, but Hyder's been up to the task. No rust there for number 31 after the extended break. The Gladiators have done a good job of scoring goals here today, as Atlanta's offside on their latest zone entry. And that's one thing that was also questioned out of this Gladiators club coming into the day. You lose your 2 leading goal scorers, and you think, well, who's going to step up? Who's going to score goals? And you get 3 from the blue liners on the back end. 1 from Young, 1 from Denemy. And it's been by committee for this Atlanta Gladiators team. Out of the corner, Young centers for Morgan. Can't get a shot away. Carabia keeps it in at the left point. Serves it down low to Young. Off the end wall, centers for Morgan. Quick chance. Rejected by Scholl. And Greenville is able to punch it through center down to Hyder. Ends up going wide. No icing. Gladiators sleepwalking for a bit. It's a shot by Atkinson. Pinballs in front. Second chance by O'Reilly. Put wide of Hyder. Now a big check thrown in the far corner. Parker Jones at the line. Passes to Atkinson. Drops it back. Murray a drive. That goes wide. Pass from low to high. Goes out of the zone. Gladiators catch a free break. Get a wholesale line change in. Much needed. As a stretch pass is flagged down by Scardina, product of Bowling Green State. He'll come onto the tape of Brendan Less. There's his first goal as a Gladiator and of the season here today. Atlanta looks to break out. Errant puck goes to Greenville. They give it right back. Burns on the near wall. Lifts it down deeper. Caught up to by Murray. Floats it back to center. And now Les and Jarvis will control. Burns. Smacked off the puck. Polino with it. Has O'Hara left wing. Centers. Crashing the net was Berg. Hit his skate and went wide. I think if that went in, wasn't going to count anyway, as Berg kind of stopped and angled his skates towards the goal line. Meanwhile, Les is taken down in the far corner. Play getting very physical and chippy here in the late stages of the second. Meanwhile, Burns flies up ice. Rainbows it into the near corner. Berg keeps it moving along. From the goal line, Lovell with a couple of shoulder fakes. Stretches it up ahead to Brackett. Brackett tries to get around Nychuk, spun down to the ice. Young with it, looks up ice. 4-on-3 for Atlanta. Young feeds left wing for Sylvester, drops back for a shot. Mateer to the goal line, and oh, it just pinballs wide. Young at the end wall, shoved off the puck by Berg. Somehow that puck stayed out. Mateer took the initial shot, didn't get a lot of wood on it, hits a stick, ends up pinballing in front of the blue paint, right in front of the goal line, about half a foot away from being a good goal. And those of you on Flow Hockey get a good look at this one. Just dribbles towards the net, and making the save was Berg, the defenseman, right there. Gladiators win the offensive zone face-off. Nychuk centers off the skate of Nolan. Couldn't quite control it. Tries to get possession in the near corner, working against Modry. Modry tries to scoot away, working with Peterson, and they do. Turn it over to Sylvester. Between the circles, but nothing forthcoming. Greenville back up ice. Poisson to Peterson. Gladiators break that up. Now Nolan takes it in the neutral zone. Running left, stopping, centering, off the stick of Young and wide. Puck jumbles along the boards on the far wall. Greenville punches it out to center, and a little bit more. Foot race, Orzek beats out Peterson. Great positioning there from Orzek. Fourth year ECHL man. Gets it to the line, but not out. Shot deflected in front. The second opportunity put in by Mastrodonato. 5-4. Greenville closing in. They don't call him the maestro for nothing. Greenville's got its first back-to-back goals in the game. Ends up getting tipped on the first opportunity. Ends up going to Mastrodonado, and Carabia in front of Hyder might have accidentally screened his own netminder. And there is a discussion going on between our referee, one of our linesmen, Cody Sylvester, eavesdropping, trying to get a word in, but they're not having any of it. Atkinson, the captain for Greenville, there as well. And no, well, let's see. Oh, we were going to get a PA announcement, but we're still playing Freebird, the Greenville goal song, but they're going to take this to video review. And because of the fact that they were playing Freebird over the PA announcement, I'm not quite sure what they're looking at here, but maybe a high stick on that play that led to the goal. We'll see. The initial chance was tipped in front, and maybe that's what they're looking at to see if that puck was tipped on its way above the crossbar on the first shot, and then if Greenville touches that, that would have been a stoppage of play and no goal from Mastrodonado. So that's the only thing I can really think of. The only man in front of Hyder was his own in Carabia, so I don't think they're looking at goaltender interference. So my guess, high stick, we'll see. But what a wild game this has been. First two went to the Gladiators, then back and forth we went 3-1 Gladiators after one. Go to the second period, the scoring continues. Greenville gets on the board. Gladiators get two more, then the Swamp Rabbits think they've got the next two. But this play under review, we're going to see if this goal from Mastrodonado, the latest in this wacky game, ends up standing. So they've broken out the iPad, taking a look, and they're looking at that wide view, not that tight view at the goal line. So we'll see. A little bit of eavesdropping here. Now we've got the official verdicts. Here it is. It is a goal. The maestro, Keaton Mastrodonado, gets the score. And I believe that was what they were looking at, was the potential high stick on that first shot, but not enough to overturn the call on the ice, which was a good goal. And so Mastrodonado, the latest to score in this offensive shootout. The maestro has got his 8th goal of the year to make it a 1-goal game at 5-4 in favor of Atlanta. Murray and Peterson get the assists. Atlanta by 1. They dump it in. Hyder gets it to the line, but not out. Murray to Atkinson. Cross ice. On time for Shandor. Makes his way up to the line. Goes back to Atkinson on the left wing. Takes a shot. Glove save Hyder. Clock stops with 4:57 left in the second. And so for those of you who are watching or listening to Gladiators game for the first time here tonight, this is not normally how these things go. And we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. But coming into the night, Gladiators, one of the best defensive teams in the ECHL, averaging 1.96 goals against average. That figure's going to climb up after this one. Atlanta, 5. Greenville, 4. We're back after this from our local sponsors.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Back to live action here in Greenville. Got some technical difficulties out of the break, but we're back. We're back to this fun one here at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Atkinson plays it to the line. Sheriff tries to drop it down low. Ends up getting broken up by the Gladiators. Puck play with a high stick. Stop with 4:25 left in the period, and we've got a fight. Mastrodonado laying it on Brendan. Les takes him down. I don't think Les was really ready for that one. Did drop his gloves, but now he's trying to go back against the Maestro. Both those guys with a goal here today. Les and Mastrodonado trying to talk it out. I don't think Brendan Les thought he got a fair chance on that one, and I have to agree. Mastrodonado down the tunnel, Les to the penalty box. Likely 5 for fighting for both. We'll see if anything extra gets added, but that is the second fight of the game. First one came back in the first period, a penalty against John Parker Jones. And so here is the replay. And Mastrodonado, yeah, kind of just jumps Brendan Les, and Les not going to shy away from the fight. 5 to fighting for each. Les not going to shy away from the fight, does drop his gloves, but doesn't really get a chance to really stand up for himself. And so the Maestro gets a couple of cheap ones in there, and Les doesn't get to say much about it. Looks like Les will go to the locker room as well. 4:25 left in the second period. Might as well get there early. And so for the Gladiators, who dressed 7 defensemen here today, they're not down to 6 for the remainder of the period. Young, cross ice off the stick, away from Sylvester. Puck meanders to the end wall. Young is there with the captain. Young looks to stuff it in, goes off the stick and away from the goal mouth. Nychuk at the line. Waiting, drifting, moving right, passing left. Mateer sidesteps away from Parker. From the end wall, Murray. Pressured by Young, loses the puck to Sylvester, but helping out is Atkinson to keep it for Greenville. Up ice they go. Nolan intercepts a pass, whacks it to Sylvester. Drifting over the red line, leaves it for Nychuk up ice. Nychuk dangling, can't get a piece of it. Parker steals it at center circle. Possession just going back and forth like a tennis match. Greenville ices the puck with 3:28 to go in the period. Well, we have got a lot to talk about on the second intermission report. Coming up after the conclusion of the second period, we'll talk all about what has happened here at Bon Secours Wellness Arena in this wild, wild west shootout. Look ahead to the third period, some scores from out of town. Check the chat and a whole lot more. As a shot by Carabia, gloved up by Scholl. 3:24 on the clock. Shot count is 33-20 in favor of Greenville. 5-4 score. Very uncharacteristic for the Gladiators. Coming into the day, they're the only team in the ECHL to average under 2 goals against at 1.96. But the score here today, I figure will likely jump up above 2, but still, one of the best defensive teams in the ECHL, but been a bit of an off night as Cipollone tries to stuff it in. Goes off of something and goes out of play. Tried to go short side on a wraparound on Scholl on the far post. Ends up going out of play with 3:14 on the clock. And I'm liking these lines for Matt Ginn's club. Matt Ginn, the head coach, Zach Fennell, the assistant coach. O'Brien looked good with Denemy and Cipollone. We'll see him take this face off against Polino. Face off to the right of Scholl. O'Brien's won it. Orzek keeps it in at the line. Orzek darts towards the net and shoots just high and wide. Rebound, put in front. O'Brien will score! Jack O'Brien's got his first as a Gladiator. Welcome to the squad. It is 6-4 Atlanta. Centering feed from below the goal line. Finds O'Brien in front. Just when we talk about how good that line has been, they combined for another one. And O'Brien's first in the Gladiator uniform. So in the pregame, we talked about the immediate impact that these guys need to have for Atlanta here today. Well, Orzek's got one, and O'Brien won himself. That's one way to make a first impression. Gladiators looking for more. Scardina hounding the puck in the near corner along with Francis. Pinned up on that corner wall. Francis tries to rip his stick free. He was getting held by Modry. Meanwhile, Scardina tripped up on the far wall. No call to be found. Greenville moving up ice. It's Brackett from the right point. Tries to sauce it down low. Gladiators wrestle it away. Push it towards Scholl, who will just paddle it to his own blue line for DeYoung. Cross-ice feed away from the intended receiver, Peterson. No icing. Mateer pelts it to the neutral zone off the stick of Sylvester and in to the near corner. Nolan shuffles it over to the far side. Young is there, reverses back to Nolan. Centers looking for Sylvester, but a good active stick from Atkinson breaks it up. 2-on-1 up ice for Greenville. Cross-ice feed broken up by Nychuk. O'Reilly tries to get to the rebound. And ends up flapjacking to the near corner. Nolan gets checked by Shandor. Puck leaks over to Sylvester, who's able to skate it out of his own end. Greenville gets it back at center circle. 1:40 left in the second. Nychuk in front of the Greenville bench tries to wrestle away from Sheriff. Puck ends up getting spat over to Nolan. He'll chuck it to his right. Young from neutral ice wheels it back to Mateer. Now Nychuk over the attacking line. Tries to pass it to Nolan, just a tad offline. Greenville floats it to center. Sheriff to the left wing has O'Reilly from the circle, dangles and centers. Intercepted by Nolan. 3-on-2 up ice, but they're gassed. Young on the right wing just puts a soft one on goal to Scholl, who kicks it out of play with 1:01 to go in the second. Oh boy, if that line hadn't been out there on an extended shift, I think that would have been another prime scoring opportunity for the Gladiators, but they were due for a change. So that's that. On comes the O'Brien, Cipollone, and Denemy line. Gladiators win the faceoff. Arabia shoots, blocked in front, rebound to Denemy, forced to the outside on the near side half wall. Final minute of the second period as traffic converges. 48 seconds left in the period. And a whistle, high stick on Greenville with 45.8 on the clock. So O'Brien scores from Cipollone and Orzek with 3:06 left in the second to make it a 6-4 game. Face off on the near circle. Cipollone will take this against Polino, and Polino wins it, gets it to the wall, tries to chip it out, but it's held in by Denemy. Good keep, goes cross ice. Orzek doesn't shoot, gets caught between the legs. Low hit there. Orzek thankfully okay and back up on his feet, drives it into the near corner. Bodies come together. Murray tries to push it out and does. 20 seconds left. Greenville turns it over again. Denemy plays it back to Orzek. 14 seconds left in the period. Maybe one last chance for the Gladiators. They did score on the goal from less with 7.4 left in the first. Greenville with it. Right wing shot. Save by the glove of Hyder. 3.5 to go. Now we're going to see a face-off near Ethan Hyder. It's going to be to his left, and we've seen this before. I mean, we talk about the Reed Lebster incident back in Utah. Ended up being 1.1 left on the clock. Grizzlies score with 0.3 of a second left. So they scored 0.8 of a second, so it is possible. There's plenty of time for Greenville. So Gladiators bundle up in the slot, trying to block this if Greenville wins it, tries to get a quick shot off. Scardina will take this face-off against Hausinger. And Greenville wins it. Shot is flopped by Shandor. Shot from the line, turned away by Hyder at the buzzer. The Swamp Rabbits had plenty of time. If Shandor Didn't whiff on that shot. Would have had a chance. Ended up getting one despite all that from the line, but Hyder was ready for it. 6-4 is your score after 2. Gladiators lead by 2. And this one has been one for the ages. Something tells me this is going to be one heck of a finish here in the upstate, here from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. We'll talk all about what we've seen already for the first 2 periods when we come back here to Greenville for the second intermission report. We'll also take a look at some scores from around the league. And, of course, as always, we will preview the third period. Take a look at our YouTube live chat. Comment your thoughts on tonight's game. This one's been a wacky one. It's been a wild one. I want to hear from you in the second intermission report. Comment in our YouTube live chat, and we'll get to it on the other side of the break. Atlanta 6, Greenville 4. Your score after 2. We are back after these messages from the ECHL.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Bon Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rapids, and what has turned into a good old-fashioned barn burner. At some point, the roof is going to blow off the top of this building. 10 goals combined. Atlanta leads 6-4 after 2 periods of play. I'm Chiarenza here reporting from enemy territory. This one has been a lot of fun. The Gladiators' season high for goals in the game is 7. They did that when they beat the Jacksonville Icemen 7-2 back in the early stages of the month of December. December 5th to be exact. Actually the first game of the month in Jacksonville. And this has been a doozy. Gladiators did score 6 once again in that 6-3 win against the Utah Grizzlies. And so it seems like the Gladiators really find their scoring groove on the road. And as for Greenville, their 4 goals on the board, it is something that is uncharacteristic for the Gladiators. This is just something that has happened this is the third time this has happened this season, that the Gladiators have allowed 4 or more goals in the game. In fact, the Gladiators have not allowed more than 4 goals in a game this season. It is the third time. The previous 2 instances, the Gladiators lost both of those 2 games, 4-3 in Jacksonville on the 6th after that 7-2 win, 6th of December, and then the most recent one, the 4-0 shutout loss to Casimir Kaskasuo and the Utah Grizzlies on the 13th of December at Maverick Center. So it has been one of those games where you hype up a lot of trends in the pregame show, and we do our best to kind of lay the law down on what we think is going to happen and what should happen. But it's one of those games where you just take that and you just rip it up, throw it out the window, because none of the above has happened here tonight, but it's been a fun one, entertaining one, and the Gladiators, up by 2, look to be on their way to at least having the upper hand here in the third period, but which team ends up being the victor in this game, I think that still remains to be seen. As well as the Gladiators have played offensively in this game, it really is still up for grabs. It's a game of momentum, as every game in this season series has been. Remember, every game in this season series has been decided by 2 goals or less. This one, the margin right now, is 2. Here's how we got here. Gladiators struck first. Power play goal from the new guy, Nolan Orzek. Assist going to Jack Mateer and Ryan Francis. Atlanta scores 4:10 into the first period, and away we go. That would be the first of 10 combined goals to follow. First of 6 for the Gladiators, and who knows what we've got in the third period. As this has definitely been the highest scoring game that the Gladiators have participated in this season. Gladiators get another one. Zach Yoder from Peter Morgan. Great centering feed. Good work along the boards by Morgan. Annapelt sets up that goal for Yoder. Yoder crashes in on the inside part of the right circle, puts it in the back of the net for the goal to make it a 2-0 Gladiator lead. But Greenville comes roaring back. Patrick Polino gets one just about at the midway point of the first period. 10:13 on the clock. Polino is able to push in a rebound off of a howitzer of a shot from Ken Hausinger. Trying to say that one 3 times fast. Hausinger puts one on net. Hyder absorbs most of it, but not all of it. Polino puts it in to make it a 2-1 game. But the Gladiators come back, make it a 3-1 game with a goal just before the buzzer. Brendan Les scores for the Gladiators, his first goal as an Atlanta Gladiator. From Burns and Nolan, 7.4 on the clock. Gladiators' first 3 goals of the night came off of the sticks of defensemen. Good sight to see. So Atlanta led 3-1 after 1 period of play. And in the second period, both teams get 3. It is Greenville that gets their first of the second period to make it a 3-2 game. Josh Atkinson scores. Greenville with numbers up ice after killing off a penalty. Drop it off to Atkinson, the trailer. He scores to make it 3-2. Then you get the latest in the highlight reel career of Alex Young. 15:57 on the clock in the second period. Young kind of just sneaks his way to the right circle. Wasn't moving with a lot of speed, just had a good angle, and somehow sneaks a high shot up into the top shelf. Makes it, at that point, a 4-2 Gladiator lead. And then 102 later, Carson Denemy was able to put in a Joey Cipollone rebound to make it a 5-2 Gladiators lead. That, at that point, was the biggest lead of the night for the Gladiators. But Greenville did not like that very much. They come roaring back. They get the next 2. First off the stick of Ryan O'Reilly to make it a 5-3 game, and then Greenville closes within 1, makes it 5-4 off a goal from the maestro, Keaton Mastronado. And as my good friend Tyson Whiting would say, the maestro's symphony is singing. Mastronado spent some part of his career with the Utah Grizzlies, so Tyson very familiar with his game. The maestro sang, Greenville pulls within 1, and that goal did go to video review. I think they were reviewing that for a potential high stick on the initial shot as it got deflected on its way to Hyder. Rebound did go to Mastronado, but if it was played with a high stick, that would have meant that once Mastronado touched it, that play would have blown dead. But never mind that. Ends up being a good goal. Greenville pulls within 1, but order is restored. The Gladiators get their 2-goal lead back as the other new guy, Jack O'Brien, is able to put one in point blank off a centering feed from below the goal line by Joey Cipollone. With 3:06 left in the second period to make it a 6-4 hockey game. And that is the story so far from Greenville. I certainly think that there is plenty more in store. And this game is going to have one wild ride to the finish. Let's take a look at the YouTube live chat before we head to our break here in the second intermission. Been a lot of fun. And Lynette says, new guys proving their worth tonight? Definitely. What a trade that was. And it's got to be tough to come into a new squad and immediately make an impact. And that's something that we talked about in the pregame show was you lose your top 2 goal scorers. You do get these 2 new guys in. It was going to be interesting to see if it was going to take them some time to gel with their new teammates here on this roster, the style of play, all of that, or if they were just going to be able to jump right back in. And immediately proved to be effective and ends up being the latter. Both guys have a goal here tonight. O'Brien coming into the day with the loss of Walter and Boudon ends up becoming the Gladiators' de facto goal-scoring leader. It's his first as a Gladiator, his 12th of the season, and he's made it 6-4. So good night so far for the new guys. Happy to have him on the squad. Fuzzy's watching the Winter Classic. Florida and the Rangers wearing the ECHL-style jerseys, looking like they're Winnie the Poohs. I thought those jerseys were all right. Good to see the Leaping Panther back for the Florida Panthers. Not a huge fan of that shield logo that they've got that they won the Stanley Cups with, but I think it's all right. I mean, the Winter Classic's fun. It's about heritage. It's cool. I might have to check that score when we come back to our out-of-town scoreboard. Peach Fuzz says, Guy, given the unexpected extended vacation, do you see much rust in the team's performance, or do they look sharp? Honestly, one of the biggest questions coming into the day was how would the Gladiators fare when it came to scoring goals? This was a team that a lot of their goals and a lot of their scoring went through Louis Boudon and Isaac Walter in that first line. Without those two guys in the lineup, we were all curious to see, weren't we, how the Gladiators would fare. Who would step up? Who would score goals? Well, got 3 from blue liners, 2 from the new guys, and 3 from forwards, 1 on the power play. They've done it a variety of different ways here tonight, and it's been fun. Defensively, that's where you get a little bit of rust. This is just the 3rd time this season when the Gladiators have scored, or have allowed 4 goals in a single game, and this one's not done yet. So Greenville's done a good job of scoring. A little bit of a breakdown for the Gladiators, and Greenville's been using their speed to score those goals. And so something that the Gladiators have done really well in the season series was shutting down that Greenville speed. They've kind of gotten away from that here today, and if I would just say if there's any rust, it would be in that department. But so far, so good for the Gladiators. They've been able to outscore those defensive woes here today. Something that I don't think very many people thought that they would be able to do coming into the night. So you got to take your positives when you get them. Rebecca says, what is your favorite theme night of the season, Guy? Oh, man, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. I really did enjoy... I enjoyed, I would say, 2 games in that regard. I really liked opening night. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Gladiator-themed jerseys, but opening night was cool. It was cool to see those Gladiator-themed jerseys. I did enjoy that a lot. From a broadcaster's perspective, they were tough to spot, but they were pretty cool. And then the kids game. The kids game was really cool. I have to say the kids game was cool just because of how loud they were and how great that atmosphere was. The Gladiators didn't win that day, lost to these Swamp Rapids, but that was a cool game. That was a lot of fun. So throw that one in there, and boy, it's kind of tough to remember. I don't really pay attention to the themes. If I'm being honest, I really don't pay attention to the themes. I'm more focused on the game. I don't really look around at the action that's going on with the themes and whatnot, but I will say this. Our marketing team, our whole game ops team, everybody does such a great job to put those themes together for you guys, the fans. So hopefully you guys enjoy those. We got some good ones on the docket. Tomorrow night is Star Wars night. Really looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, going to be very cool. We've got the Frosty Boots and Country Roots night coming back on January 18th, and then Military night is on January 9th against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. That's next week. So Military night is in the cards. Got a couple of good ones on the docket. So there's been some good ones so far. Hard to pick a favorite for me, but it gets better as the season goes on. Trust me. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get your tickets at AtlantaGladiators.com because we do have some awesome themes coming up. Another question from Rebecca. Do you know when the next auction booth is? So I'm assuming you are talking about specialty jerseys, jersey auction. That would be tomorrow. Those Star Wars jerseys are going to be auctioned off at the end of the game on the upper concourse. And on top of that, you can always go to dash.com, or I guess it's winwithdash.com. Go to the Atlanta Gladiators page, and there's plenty of stuff on there to bid on as well. If that's what you're talking about. Autograph, there will be one tomorrow. There will be an autograph session tomorrow as well, I believe. Actually, don't quote me on that. I think with the jersey auction, there will not be an autograph session. So I think, don't quote me here, but I think it would be the next game against Greenville on the 18th, because I'm not sure if we do those signings after jersey auctions or not. I want to say no. So I would imagine it would be one of those 2 games against Greenville on the 18th or 19th. So look for there to be an autograph session, and it'll be a lot of fun. And with that, we'll take another break here on the second intermission report. Always good to do a chat check on the YouTube side. Happy to have everybody here, especially in-house. and on the chat as well, watching, listening from around the world, supporting your Atlanta Gladiators. Atlanta 6, Greenville 4. We are back to check the out-of-town scoreboard and preview the third a little bit more here on the second intermission report after this.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We are getting set for what is going to be a wild ride to the finish in the third period here at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Tail end of the second intermission report. Guy Chiarenza with you here. Let's get to the out-of-town scoreboard, see what's going on in the South Division. Here on a busy Friday night from First Horizon Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Greensboro Gargoyles, who we'll see tomorrow, hosting the South Carolina Stingrays. It is the visitor, South Carolina, up 2-1 with 14:36 left in the third period. It's Greensboro in its inaugural season. We'll see the Gargoyles for the first time ever tomorrow. Savannah taking on the Trois-Rivières Lions as we speak after 2 periods of play. In Quebec, those Pirates and Lions are tied at 1. And over at Hertz Arena in Estero, Florida Everblades lead the Orlando Solar Bears 2-1 with 6:10 left in the second period in that one. And for the rest of the games, go to the ECHL app or ECHL.com. Check it out for yourself. That is just the action going on in the South Division, but there's plenty more to choose from in the ECHL. And for those of you at the end of our game, I heartily encourage you to check out some of those on the nightcap. Out in the Mountain Division, Allen and Tahoe, Rapid City, Idaho, Utah, Wichita. Those games are always fun as well if you've got the Hockey TV subscription. But don't go anywhere because this one's been fun. Greenville and Atlanta putting on a show. Gladiators 6, Swamp Rabbits 4 after 2. Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers and trim, skating from right to left here in the third. Greenville wearing a white jersey with orange numbers and orange trim, skating from left to right in the final period. O'Reilly will take the face-off against O'Brien to start the third period. Greenville 35 shots on goal to Atlanta's 23. No shortage of goals here in the upstate. We'll see if the third period has any more. Gladiators win the opening face-off of the third. As Zorzek puts it off the skate of O'Brien and into Greenville territory where it's pulled in by Murray. slung towards the net, deflected wide into the far corner. Denemy on the near side half wall has some space and time. Pumps it to the neutral zone for Cipollo. Off the wall, Cipollo swipes at it. Gets to O'Brien. Working up the wall, turns downhill. Looks to center off the skate of Denemy and through the slot. Denemy has it. Looks to center for Cipollo. He couldn't get a swing on it. And now John Parker Jones in a battle with Nychuk. Able to shuffle it to the line and out to center. Nychuk from the red line. Skates over Greenville blue. Distributes to Sylvester. Back to Nychuk in the near corner. It's caught up to by Atkinson. Greenville captain plugs it out to the neutral zone again. Sylvester simmers it down for Young. Battles against Atkinson. And again, Greenville's captain able to force it out to center. Atkinson, the former member of the Gladiators. Spent some time with Atlanta back from 2016 to 2018. As Atlanta is able to swipe it out to the neutral zone as Greenville tried to walk the line. Now Hausinger on the right wing. Finds Berg. Just blast it from corner to corner where Nychuk will retrieve. Backhands it to Mateer. He'll sauce it up the near side wall looking for Sylvester. Ends up pinballing to number 16. Gets shoved off of it. Young is able to swing it right back, and the captain will pot it into the far corner and head off for a line change. Greenville controlling. Trying to start and plot their next breakout. Greenville, very speedy team, but moving very methodically on this sequence. They'll wham it off the near boards and behind Hyder. Brackett shoved off of it by Yoder. Burns takes it on the move and flings it right wing looking for Scardina. Pass it tap behind. Gladiators can't push the narrative any further. And here come the Swamp Rabbits. Peterson off the near wall. Chips it to the near corner. Yoder collides with him there. Puck leaps into the air. Gloved down by Poisson. Plays it to the line. DeYoung holding, shooting. Wide of Hyder. Hits the backside of the cage. Brackett looks to center. Escapes to the line. Modry fires. Blocked in front by Burns. Tries to wrestle away the rebound. Scardina pokes it to the line and fights out to center. Moving with Burns. Scardina powers down the right wing wall. Gets shoved off the puck by Modry. Those two jockey behind the play and exchange a few words. Both head off to their respective benches as Appelt takes in a pass on the left wing. He'll shoot sky high and out of play. 2:59 into the third period. Faceoff will be to the right of Matthias Scholl, who hasn't had the best of nights, but they've kept him in there so far tonight. Last few times we've seen these two play, we've seen Pierce Charleston, who really took the brunt of the workload while Scholl was in Ontario. This being Scholl's first game back since being assigned to the Reign. Meanwhile, Young, deep in his own territory, able to chip it up ahead to Morgan, moving with Appelt. Riley Appelt shimmies it below the goal line. Greenville quickly able to rotate to the near side. Mastrodonato finds Atkinson, puts it through the neutral zone off the stick of Sheriff, down to Hyder, who comes out to play it. He'll heave it to his right. Play kept alive at the line by Berg. Powers down low, looking for Sheriff. He's got him. Peeking and diving in the corner. Tries to escape the heat put on by Mateer. Greenville working from high to low now. They'll back up high. Out the left point, leveled. Spins like a turnstile away from Cipollo. Feeds O'Reilly for a chance. That goes wide. Rebound put in front, and Atlanta's able to sweep it away. Appelt distributes back out to center. 15:54 and counting left in the third. O'Reilly on the right wing. Tries to hit Sheriff on the run. Ends up getting broken up nicely by Mateer. He'll pound it out to center. Cipollo takes it on the run. Cipollo, backhand, centering feed. Oh, what a stop by Scholl! Robs O'Brien on the one-timer. And it remains a 2-goal game. Well, you got to tip your cap when it's due. Matthias Scholl makes his biggest save of the night, moving from right to left. Oh, he's just able to absorb it hits the inside part of the jersey between the armpit and his torso. Just able to absorb just enough. Great effort there by Scholl. And O'Brien almost had a second of the night. And what patience and hesitation by Cipollone to set up that play. Shot from the right point, juggled and bobbled by Scholl, but he's got it. Freezes with 15:33 left in the third.
All right, guys, grab those raffle tickets. Tonight's jersey raffle winner. Ticket number 130-9480.
Face off to the left of Scholl. Cipollone will take this against O'Reilly. Well, check that. Cipollone's going to get tossed out. And O'Brien will do the work. Trying to get it to Cipollone, but it gets kicked out to the goal line. And now DeYoung flips it to the neutral zone. Batted down with a glove of Jarvis. Parker Jones trying to force his way further. Gets in front of the net. Just puts a rebound wide. Tries to stuff it in on a wraparound. And Zach Yoder had it covered on the far post. Cipollone deking down the right wing. Chips it off the end wall. He'll head off. Great shift for that trio. As O'Reilly pumps it down. Hyder leaves it, slows it down for Orzek. Reverses to the near corner for Jarvis. Checks Parker in the corner. We'll get it to the line for Murray. Shot in front, tipped in front. Hyder sprawls out to keep it out of the net. Referee lost sight of the puck. Blows the play dead. Gladiators catch a break there. Hyder saw what Scholl did on the other end moments ago and said, hey, I can do that too. Brilliance from Ethan Hyder. 14:45 left in the third period. Face off on the near side. Stick breaks for Hausinger. Gladiators get it up to their own line. Try and take advantage. Sylvester on the right wing. Hausinger's got a stick back. Able to get back just in time. Sylvester on the forecheck working with Young. Young centers. Comes out of the zone. Carabia will track it down. Gladiators just a split second too slow on that play. Hausinger just able to get a stick. Join the play just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, O'Hara tries to weave his way in. Shot from the slot goes wide of Hyder. On the right wing, Greenville possesses. Lovell has O'Hara at the right point. Sylvester able to take away his shooting angle. Tattooed off the end wall. Taking a return feed and shoot into the glove of Hyder. With 6:06 gone by in the third. Gladiators lead 6-4. No goals so far here in the third period, but Greenville leads the shot counts 37-25. The Gladiators have made it pay where it counts. We're back after this in Greenville. Gladiators lead at 6-4. This one's been a barn burner, but to this point, no goals so far in the third period. And the Gladiators will be fine if it stayed that way. Errant pass from Sheriff escapes the Gladiators zone. Free play, free clear, and Francis speeding into it. Finds some pressure on Berg on the forecheck. Sheriff on the right wing. The hop in his step gains the red line into Gladiator territory. From the near corner, gets squashed off the puck by Mateer. Centering feed from below the goal line off a turnover flubbed on by Mastrodonato. That play just conjured itself out of nothing as a long one is eaten up by Hyder with 13:21 to go. Well, Mateer really just able to squash Sheriff off that puck, and the next thing he knew, it was being centered into the slot for Mastrodonato, and he just whiffed. Rare sight to be seen, Mastrodonato fanning on a one-timer, but that's exactly what it was. Face-off to the right of Ethan Hyder. Face-off will be taken by Jack O'Brien against Hudson Shandor. O'Brien, at the time of the trade, led the Heartlanders in goals and points. Has since scored a goal here today for the Gladiators in his Atlanta debut. Shandor has his plans foiled on the zone entry. Puck trickles back to Berg, who'll pick his head up, feed it to his deep partner in Lovell. Has Mastrodonato at the red line, and he will just softly plug it into the near corner. Sheriff putting on some heat, but O'Brien will escape. 12:44 left in the third period. Berg on the left wing, gains the red line, rainbows it into the near corner. Puck simmers down on the tape of Jarvis, being pressured by Sheriff. Puck is ripped away by the veteran. Plays it from low to high. Shot blocked. Second chance in the slot, spun away by Brackett. Sheriff again from low to high. Connects with Modry. Cross ice for DeYoung. Shot blocked. Denemy gets in front of it. And Greenville forced to dump it down and get a partial change in. Fans take up a Let's Go Rabbits chant. Gladiators trying to foil their plans in enemy territory and make it 6 wins in a row against Greenville. Nolan drops it off. Quick passing. Couldn't quite reel it in. Orzek had trouble with it on the left wing. Greenville clears it down. Icing on the Swamp Rabbits with 11:47 left on the game clock. We'll see a face-off here near Matthias Scholl. We've already had 2 fights in this game, a penalty against Parker Jones, and then one between Brendan Less and Keaton Mastrodonato. Face-off to the left of Scholl. Face-off won by Poisson. Gladiators quickly step into it in the near corner. Nolan works it over to Young behind the net. Young on his backhand. Creeping up towards the line. Leaves it for Mateer. Long shot blocked. The rebound. Dangling. Young to the goal. Oh, it stayed out. Modry makes the save on the goal line. Net comes off. Whistle blown. 11:26 left in the third period. Scholl was down and out. Somebody get that guy a map. Alex Young had him completely lost. Didn't quite have the edge, and then Modry just bats it away. You had to think if Young scores there, that might have been the dagger, but still a 2-goal game. Face on to the left of Scholl, won by the Gladiators. Mateer fires, deflected in front, just wide on the near post. Now Nychuk back to Mateer. Delayed penalty on Greenville. Hyder to the bench. 6-on-5 until the Swamp Rabbits touch it. Sylvester to Nychuk. At the line, drifting left, looking downhill. Finds Sylvester. Back to Nychuk. Fakes a bomb. Back to Sylvester. Left wing wall. Gets to the circle. Plays it up top to Nychuk. Has Young. High point back to Nychuk. Drifting across. Has Francis. Nychuk again. Pressured by Brackett. Nychuk dives down deeper. Chips it to Francis below the goal line. From low to high, Young can't reel it in. He'll have to chase it back into his own net. And O'Reilly off the bench trying to get to it. Touch it up and send the Gladiators to the Eco-Electric power play. Young able to escape him. And gain the attacking line. Sylvester as it poked away by Parker Jones, and that will draw a whistle. Gladiators to the Eco-Electric power play. High sticking is going to be the call. And Modry is the culprit. So it was Modry that made that incredible play to bat the puck away as Alex Young was barreling towards the net after Scholl got lost in the sauce. 10:30 left in the third period. Atlanta to the power play. Greenville wins it. They'll plug it through the neutral zone and all the way down to Hyder. Gladiators start this power play from the deep end as Orzek fights off O'Hara, pressuring shorthanded. You have to think, down by 2 in this game, where it seems like anything goes, Greenville going to get quite aggressive. Here in the near corner, leaves it for Burns. He'll swat it over to the right wing for Orzek. At the line, Francis takes it in. Cross ice feed, Matier all alone, delays, doesn't shoot, spins away from the pressure from O'Reilly. Dives down deeper. Puck meanders back to the line. Francis has it at the left point. Spins away from O'Reilly. Moving towards his right, Francis back to Matier at the left circle. They'll turn up to the line, feed it to Orzek. Orzek back to Matier. Again at the left circle, stationed there, puts it in front. Blocker save made by Scholl. Rebound jumbles in the far corner. O'Reilly will clear. 53 seconds left on the power play. It is Orzek, backpedaling behind Hyder. Gladiators getting personnel change. And on comes this new look first unit. Keep an eye on Jack O'Brien, tied for third in the ECHL in power play goals with 6. All of them scored with the Iowa Heartlanders. And he does have a goal today. Nyjak at the right point, tries to go from high to low, picked off by Berg. Greenville up by shorthanded. Polino peels away at the left wing, gets stacked by Nolan. Big hit in front. Oh, what a stop by Hyder on Parker. Somehow slipped behind the defense. And Hyder comes up huge. That save made shorthanded. 5 seconds left on the Eco-Electric power play. That's going to run out. Modry out of the box. Unsuccessful. Greenville back to full strength. Still remains a 6-4 Gladiator lead. Atkinson feeds right wing for Sheriff. Barreling down the wing. Shoots, save, Hyder. He'll swipe away the rebound at the line. Murray goes across. Shot by Atkinson. Hits the end wall. Shandor to Murray. Back to Shandor at the line. Moving left. Looking downhill. Feeds it to his right for Mastrodonato. One-timer by Atkinson. Stick for Morgan breaks. He blocked it. Gladiators punch it down the length of the ice. And it's an icing with 7:50 to go. And Morgan gets a new twig. We'll pay another visit to Ethan Hyder, who at this point has stopped 36 of 40. This game has been something else. These two teams will meet again on January 17th, right back in this building for the start of a 3-3 between these two. 17th, 18th, and 19th, the latter two at Gas South Arena. Sheriff going to go across the blue line for Berg, just keeps it alive. Powers it into the near corner. Yoder will pitch it out, where it goes back to the open arms of Tim Lovell. 7:30 left in the third period. Greenville's 40 shots on goal in this game tied a season high for shots against the Gladiators in a single game. And it was the Swamp Rabbits that did that on the Kids' Day game on November 5th, in which Greenville won 3-1 at Gas South Arena. Gladiators send it tumbling down the length of the ice again. Another icing on Atlanta. 7:03 to go. They play some Kiss in-house, rock and roll all night. Great song. Great song that is. And we have been rocking and rolling here tonight in Greenville. We'll do it again tomorrow. Next Gladiators broadcast from Gas South Arena, taking on the Greensboro Gargoyles for the first time ever. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 puck drop. Be there or be square for Star Wars night. Long shot into the glove of Hyder. No idea how he saw that one. About 4 bodies in front of him. Able to locate it, freeze. 6:56 to go. And that is a timeout on the ice. We will take one as well. Atlanta 6, Greenville 4. Can the Gladiators hang on and gut this one out? We'll find out on the other side of the break.
Everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Atlanta by 2, 6:56 left in the third period. Gladiators scored first. They scored first and now 4 straight games, trying to extend their winning streak to 4 games. If this score holds, they're on track to do so, but something tells me we're in for a wild ride to the end. O'Brien escapes his own zone over center circle. Feeds it left wing for Denemy. Quick pass to the right. Cipollone has trouble reeling it in. Sends it barreling towards the net. Sticked away by Murray in front of Scholl. Now has it behind his own cage. Sweeps it up to Atkinson. Knocked out to center. Contested puck. Hausinger tries to keep it away from Cipollone and company. Denemy will fire it on goal from center red with 6:23 left in the third. Greenville will ice the puck with 6:18 on the clock. And so now with 42 shots on goal, this is a season high in shots against the Gladiators in a single game. A record broken that was initially set by Greenville. And this is a Swamp Rabbits team that coming into the day, on average, took about 30.8 shots per game. That's about middle of the pack when it comes to the league, but this is well beyond that mark. And the Gladiators, on average, only averaged about 28.7 shots against the game, and that was one of the better figures in the league at 11th, but those numbers certainly about to change after this game, although it may just be an outlier. 29 shots on goal for the Gladiators, not a bad figure. Hausinger screeches into the near corner. Just to pot it to O'Hara, the trailer, ends up coming back to Hausinger. Fires it off the backside of the net, gloved down by Scardina, and he will move up ice with Burns. Burns chips it to Scardina. He'll meet it at the end wall. On his forehand, tries to return it to Burns. Greenville able to peel it away. O'Reilly does the deed. And now they send Berg into motion. Berg drops it off. O'Reilly right circle shot, well wide of Hyder. Rebound held in at the left point by Parker. The former Cyclone that was acquired right before the holiday break. Playing in his second game with Greenville today. As Nolan, he enters his way down deep to the end wall, gets checked off the puck, but it does drain off some time. 5:18 left in the third. Jarvis to Sylvester. Left wing, Gladiators enter. The captain drops it to the trapezoid. Greenville will possess. Murray getting a lay of the land. Not in any kind of hurry, although he might have to be. 5 minutes left in the third. We'll watch to see if Greenville, 1, picks up the pace here, and 2, if they elect to pull Scholl, and his time dwindles off the clock, and they're still down by 2. Time will tell. For Greenville, there's not a lot of it left. Gladiators send it throttling to the neutral zone. Ends up being corralled by Murray. As Atkinson at his own blue line, bouncing puck held on by Sheriff. Motors down the right wing. Sheriff to the trapezoid and goes around the net. Closed in on by Orzek. Great play to keep him off the puck and send Atlanta up ice. O'Brien on the left wing, grinds to a halt, spins off his skates, loses the puck, Errant pass off the stick of Sheriff. Ends up going back into the arms of the Gladiators, courtesy of Carabia. On the right wing, he'll rainbow it to the neutral zone, glove down by Murray. He'll scoot it right wing for Lovell. He'll pass it to Sheriff on the drop feed. The rim it around the boards, back up to the left point. Shot from the line by Berg. Didn't get a lot of wood on it, blocked by O'Brien. Rebound to Francis. Stutter step, back to speed. Francis dangling, can't cut to the inside. Lovell makes the defensive stand. 3:42 left in the third. Up ice goes Greenville. Polino centers. Hausinger dangles. Can't get a shot away. Gladiators got to him at the last second, but does draw a penalty. No, it doesn't. Just goes to the bench. So 6 on 5. Jack Costello going for broke, down by 2. Berg moving left, finds Lovell. At the right circle, Mastronato shoots. Hyder on the post, makes the save. Puck comes to Scardina. He'll chip it to the line. Doesn't get it out. Extra effort from Scardina. Is able to jumble out to center. Francis to the empty cage. Can't get a shot off. Has a second opportunity and doesn't go for the empty net. Just sauces it down deeper. Smart play. Didn't want to turn it over or ice the puck. 2:55 left in the third. Turnover at center. Sylvester left wing. Net is open. Blocked by Mastronato. Keeps it a 2-goal game. Not very often you see Cody Sylvester miss a chance like that on the forecheck trying to get the puck back. Can't do it. Greenville tosses it back in. Yoder hammers around the boards. Held in at the left point. Broken up by Sylvester on the cross-ice feed. Atkinson with it. 2:22 to go in the third. Greenville pulling Scholl pretty early, about 4 minutes left in the game. He's been out for a while. Atkinson leaves it for Hausinger. Cross-ice feed. Intercepted by Young, and he will score! The cherry on top, Alex Young, second of the night, sends the fans to the exits, and Atlanta leads 7-4. The dagger from Alex Young with 2:08 left in the third. Empty netter. It's the only goal in the third period. Intercepts the pass, puts it into the empty net. Atlanta has scored 7 for the second time in a single game this season. On a night where many question marks from bystanders and fans and everyone alike on how would this Gladiators team fare without its 2 leading goal scorers. Well, score speaks for itself. 7 on the board, Gladiators in control. Denemy in deep, looks to center, Scholl back between the pipes. Watches as his defenseman breaks it up in front. 1:25 left in the third period. Cipollo puts it on goal. Scholl will leave it for O'Reilly. Looking up ice, flings it left wing, off the skate of Parker Jones to Parker. Tier picks it up deep in his own territory, shovels it to the near side. Appelt tries to scoot it out to center, intercepted by Parker. Up ice goes O'Reilly, puts a shot on goal, gloved up by Hyder. 59 seconds left in the third. Face off to the right of Ethan Hyder, who has had an awesome night. 39-43 to this point. Bodies come together on the far side half wall. Time dripping away. 45 seconds left in the third. Jarvis rips it to the neutral zone. Trickles wide left of Scholl. Icing with 37.9 to go. Gladiators are on their way to their 4th win in a row and their 20th win of the season. So 12 days off, no rush for the Gladiators. We are so back. CBA ratified. O'Brien and Orzek acquired. And what is going to be a big win in enemy territory. And keep in mind, Gladiators 2 years ago, 23 wins on the season. Last year, 28 wins. Finished 6th in the South, and now here they are on their way to their 20th win of the season. About to be 20-6. Best win percentage in the ECHL. The sky's the limit for this club. 10 seconds to go in the third. Yes, when everybody says that they can't, they can. Atlanta comes barging into Bon Secours Wellness Arena and just bullies the Swamp Rabbits 7-4. Atlanta's now won the last 6 meetings in the I-85 rivalry. Make it 4 in a row for Matt Ginn's Atlanta Gladiators. Ethan Hyder's got his 10th win of the season. Gladiators are the only team in the ECHL to have 2 goalies with 10 wins each. Atlanta takes this one 7-4 in enemy territory. Coming up next here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, the post-game show from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. We'll wrap this one up. Look ahead to tomorrow night from Gas South Arena against the Greensboro Gargoyles in the first ever meeting between the ECHL's newest team and the Atlanta Gladiators. All that coming up on the other side of the break. Once again, Atlanta 7, Greenville 4. We are back after this.
Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
It's a career night for Ethan Hyder. Stops a career high 41 here on the road in Greenville. Gladiators with an offensive explosion hunt down the Swamp Rabbits, with the final being 7-4 here from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Guy Chiarenza with you here for the Gladiators post-game show, and yes, you did hear that correctly. Ethan Hyder with a career night. Previous career high for saves in a single game was 39. Did it on February 8th of 2025 against Worcester in a 4-2 win. Hyder now shattered that mark, 41 out of 45 here today for Ethan Hyder. And the Atlanta Gladiators soar to their 20th win of the season and make it 4 wins in a row. Here's how they did it, and might end up being an extended post-game show because this is a laundry list. This one might take a while. 11 goals combined, and it starts 4-10 into the first period. So the talk of the town was coming to the game. Gladiators no longer have Louis Boudon. Isaac Walter up on a PTO in Milwaukee. They're on loan. Don't know how long he's going to be up there or if we'll ever see him again, but I certainly wish him the best. And Gladiators without their top 2 goal scorers. And in fact, their de facto goal-scoring leader was a guy that hadn't even played a game with them here tonight, as it was Jack O'Brien with 11, with the Iowa Heartlanders coming in on a trade made on Monday, playing in his first game here tonight alongside teammate he was traded with and for in Nolan Orzek. And it is Nolan Orzek that scores the opening goal of the day and ended up being the first of 7 for the Gladiators. Orzek on the power play scores from Mateer and Francis to make it 1-0 Atlanta. It is worth noting that it was Jack O'Brien, the other new guy, that drew that penalty, getting high stick. So unfortunately, he had to take that high stick, that double minor, to set that play up. But O'Brien does factor in on that Glad's first goal, and those 2 new guys have an immediate impact on Atlanta's first of the day. It ends up being that the second goal also comes from a defenseman, and that would be a common theme for the first 3 goals for the Gladiators, as it's Zach Yoder from Peter Morgan. Morgan grinding off the wall, centers for Yoder, puts it in the back of the net for his first goal of the year. 12:39 left in the first period, makes it 2-0 Atlanta. Just about at the midway point of the first period, Greenville gets on the board. 9 minutes, 47 seconds gone by in the first. Patrick Polino puts in a loose rebound behind Ethan Hyder. It was a Hausinger howitzer. Try and say that 3 times fast. Hausinger with a bomb from the high slot. Hyder fights off most of it, but not all of it, and Polino gets the rebound, jams it in to make it a 2-1 game. But hold your horses, Gladiators not done yet before the end of the period, as Brendan Less puts one in from downtown with 7.4 seconds left in the first to make it a 3-1 Gladiator lead after one. Get to the second period, Greenville back on the board. They kill off an early penalty in the period. Go up ice, drop past Atkinson, he scores to make it a 3-2 game. But the next two would belong to the Gladiators, as Alex Young with a sneaky shot from the right circle goes top shelf to make it 4-2. And then Carson Denemy puts in a Joey Cipollone rebound just about a minute later, 1:02 later, to make it a 5-2 Gladiator lead. That would be the biggest lead of the night, except for the final score, as Greenville came roaring back with two of their own. First, it was Ryan O'Reilly, turning feet from below the goal line, puts it in to make it a 5-3 game, and then making it 5-4 was the maestro, Keaton Mastrodonato. Play did go to video review. Thought it might have been played with the high stick on the play before. It made its way to Mastrodonato. If it was, then should have been blown dead when Mastrodonato touched it to put it in on the second attempt, but it ruled a good goal. Mastrodonato scores, makes it 5-4. Atlanta gets one before the end of the period. Jack O'Brien gets his first as a Gladiator. Joey Cipollone with a centering feed from below the goal line finds O'Brien in tight. Gets his first as a Glad to make it a 6-4 game. And, you know, with all this scoring, you think, all right, both teams scored 3 in the second period. Glads lead 3-1 after one. I mean, surely you're going to get more of an offensive shootout in the third, right? No. No goals scored in the third period except for the empty net dagger from Alex Young, his second of the night. Intercepts a cross-ice pass at the blue line. Ends up putting in the dagger. Atlanta wins it 7-4. And so here are your clutch performers of the night. Alex Young, 2 goals. He's the only Gladiator to score twice here tonight. The second one was an empty netter. Brendan Less with a goal, his first as a Gladiator. Nolan Orzek in his Gladiators debut, 1 goal, 1 assist. Zach Yoder gets an assist, and he's at +3 on the night. Leads that category with Brendan Less, who is also a +3. Carson Denemy with a goal, Jack O'Brien with a goal, Mateer has an assist, Nolan with an assist, Nychuk, Morgan, Apples as well, and Joey Cipollone with 2 assists here tonight, Ryan Francis with 1 as well. And of course, I would say my MVP, despite all the scoring here tonight, Ethan Hyder. Let's talk about Ethan Hyder for a second, 41-45. This guy is just sneaky good. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't make the flashiest saves in the world. And, you know, think about what TJ Semptimphelter is able to do. Both of these guys, excellent in their own right, but they play a different style of game. Semptimphelter's game is a little bit more flashier. He's going to make those wow saves, and he wins, but so does Hyder. Hyder picks up his 10th win of the season here tonight, and he does it in a game where he faces 45 shots. That's a career, it's got to be a career high on shots against for Ethan Hyder in his pro careers. He makes a career high 41 saves here tonight. Ethan Hyder with a clutch performance. Gave the Gladiators stops when they needed them. Remember that. Greenville was pouring it on at the end of the first period. Had some chances in the second as well, and Ethan Hyder was there to rise to the occasion. I thought that was a great game by Hyder. And a lot of people would say, well, he gave up 4 goals. I don't want to hear any of it. Ethan Hyder was great here tonight. Anytime a goaltender faces 45 shots in a single night, chances are he's not going to have a good night. Ethan Hyder ends up giving the Gladiators just what they needed to get the win. I really like this game here tonight. I think he's been one of the unsung heroes for the Gladiators here this season. So, look at the special teams batter. The Gladiators go 1 for 4 on the power play. Of course, that power play goal was scored by Orzek. They go 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. And, again, on a night where they gave up a lot of shots, they do everything right. Offensively, they're able to get chances. And then when it counted in the third period, locked down defensively when Greenville was trying to pressure. Gladiators got back to playing Gladiators hockey. And oh, by the way, this is a very physical game. You saw 2 fights. Brendan Less going up against Keaton Mastrodonato. And then the first one, John Parker Jones up against Riley Appel. This was a game for the ages. Absolute cinema. This was a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what tomorrow night holds. Get to that in a second. But the Gladiators end up stealing the first 2 stars of the game. Third star of the night, Greenville's Keaton Mastrodonato. Mastrodonato did score here today for the Swamp Rabbits, finishes with 1 goal and 1 assist. The only other guy to do that for Greenville was Patrick Polino. Second star of the night, Joey Cipollone. Cipollone with 2 assists, definitely played a factor here in today's game. And Alex Young is your first star of the night. Young, 2 goals here in this contest. And I think it's interesting. On a night where the Gladiators score 7, your highest point scorer has 2 points. And that really shows that there was a pretty even distribution across the board for the Gladiators in scoring here today. 3 goals from the defenseman, Alex Young with 2. Joey Cipollone has a night distributing the puck, and the new guys factor in. A lot to love for this Gladiators club here today. They did an excellent job. And so Atlanta takes this one in 2 hours and 31 minutes in front of a crowd of 5,011 people. They spoil the show here in Greenville. Swamp Rabbits have now lost 4 in a row. Gladiators on the up and up have won 4 in a row themselves. And now we turn our attention to the Greensboro Gargoyles and the Evil Empire. Star Wars night tomorrow, baby. Here we go. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Gladiators and the Rebel Alliance are taking on the Evil Empire and the Greensboro Gargoyles, as Greensboro currently losing to South Carolina 2-1. Under 10 minutes left to go in the third period of that game. Oh, never mind, it's over. South Carolina wins 3-1 as I refresh my page. Greensboro falls to the Stingrays. And it's been a tough year. Inaugural season for Greensboro. They've got a lot of veterans on their club, but haven't really quite found their foothold this season. North Division team, we'll see them 3 times this season, led by Scott Burt, one of the great faces of this league. Great player, great coach. We're going to see him tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting. You don't really know what you're going to get tomorrow. I mean, we know what kind of team Greensboro is based off the stats and how they play, but the matchup, head-to-head, we have never seen this before. Greensboro Gargoyles, Atlanta Gladiators. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And oh, by the way, it is Star Wars Night. Gladiators wearing the Clone Trooper specialty jerseys. It'll be auctioned off at the end of the game. It should be a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to it. The Force will be with the Glads. And we'll see if they can take down the Empire in the Greensboro Gargoyles tomorrow night. Well, what a fun one this was. For those of you who joined us here today on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, thank you so much for joining us here today. Wherever you're watching from around the world, greatly appreciate you. Had a couple of my friends in the house, Felicia and Caitlin, made a trip from all the way from Texas to come hang out, so good to see them as well. Good to see the president, Jared Youngman, and the kiddos here in-house as well. So always good to see members of our organization make the trip, and good to see a lot of members of Glads Nation as well. Saw a lot of Gladiator fans in the building. Always good to see. Love it when you guys travel up the I-85 highway right here to Greenville. And you get to see the Gladiators bulldoze the Swamp Rabbits 7-4 in this building here tonight in what was a treat of a game. That'll do it for us here from enemy territory. Back at home tomorrow to take on Greensboro. 7:10 puck drop, 6:50 pregame show. I'll see you there. Once again, your final score here from Greenville. Atlanta 7, Greenville 4. Thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. We'll see you next time. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good night and